believe in safety that matters for real-world driving. And with rigorous testing for the elements, the unexpected, or the unpredictable, with Toyota Safety Sense, you're better prepared. That's Toyota Safe. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
2GB Mornings, thanks to the Drain Man. Got a gurgle? Get the Drain Man. He's the local expert who only clears and relines drains.
Well, it's going to be a busy afternoon around that 1:30 mark, depending on the way in which Parliament is going and who's speaking at the time. Barnaby Joyce will stand to his feet and in a 90-second statement announce that he is defecting from the Nationals to One Nation after he had that stake with Pauline Hanson in her office earlier this week. Well, that's it for me today. Thank you very much for your company. And when we speak again, it'll be Friday. So we'll all be on top of the world. Lucy Zelich is up next, filling in for Michael McLaren on the afternoon program. Lucy will have all of the Barnaby Joyce news covered for you. And, of course, Lucy will be followed by Clinton Maynard on Sydney Now. Did I hear Clinton bagging the Sharks logo on air yesterday? Come on, Clinton, you've got to talk up your football club, for goodness sake. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with you from 9 o'clock. Mark at 2gb.com to get in touch. I'll see you around the roundabout. Bye-bye.
You're never alone with the 2GB app on your phone. Download now. Sydney's 2GB 873.
In this bulletin, a woman killed by a shark. Apocalyptic blaze engulfs apartments and troops shot near the White House. It's midday. Good afternoon. I'm Madeline McNeil. Beaches are closed on a stretch of the mid-north coast after two people were mauled by a shark. They were swimming at Kylie's Beach in Crowdy Bay around 6:30 this morning when they were attacked. A woman in her 20s died at the scene. A man in his 20s has been airlifted to John Hunter Hospital with a serious leg injury. Chief Inspector Timothy Bailey says beaches will stay shut for at least 24 hours.
National Parks and Wildlife, with the assistance of Council, are closing beaches in that area and further north. They'll obviously seek advice from the experts as to how long those closures will take place.
At least 44 people have been killed in a massive inferno which engulfed 7 apartment buildings in Hong Kong. Emergency crews say the blaze spread quickly due to irregular building materials, including bamboo. This firefighter describing the situation as extremely dangerous.
The fire is spreading quickly to nearby buildings, and also debris and scaffolding of the affected buildings are falling down.
Extreme heat has left some residents trapped on the upper floors. 3 people have been arrested in connection to the fire on suspicion of manslaughter. Thousands of homes and businesses remain without power across the state. Crews are working around the clock to restore electricity after wild storms brought down trees onto power lines. The opposition claims Labor's environment reforms will do little to bring electricity prices down. Federal Politics editor Michael Packy.
The Albanese government has reached a deal with the Greens to pass a suite of environmental changes through Parliament by today. The approval process for housing, energy and some mining projects will be streamlined, while more will be done to protect native forests. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese argues the changes strike the right balance.
I describe this as a great win for the environment and a great win for business.
But the opposition claims the legislation has been rushed and will make it harder for coal and gas projects to get up, given they'll still be vital in the transition to renewable power. Liberal leader Susan Lee says the government has sold out and Australian households are the losers.
This is going to put energy prices up.
Labor is under pressure to continue providing energy rebates into next year as electricity costs show no sign of easing. In Canberra, Michael Packy, 9 News.
Barnaby Joyce is widely expected to formally quit the Nationals and join its key rival, One Nation. Mr Joyce is tipped to make the announcement in Parliament just before question time. A new cadet program is being launched aimed at boosting police numbers across the state. Dusty Fitzpatrick is at the Sydney Police Centre.
The 12-month program will be open to Year 10 school leavers. It will give them hands-on experience, rotating them through 4 placements with general duties, the Traffic and Highway Patrol Unit, as well as the Detectives and Crime Prevention Units. Those who complete the cadetship will then be able to apply to undertake further training at the Goulburn Police Academy. At the Sydney Police Centre in Surrey Hills, Dusty Fitzpatrick, 9 News.
And 1 in 4 pregnant women admit to not always wearing a seatbelt correctly when travelling in a car. An NRMA survey has found more than a third of expecting mothers don't find them comfortable. In finance, the All Ords is trading up 38 points at 89.38. One Australian dollar is buying 65.27 US cents.
Finance presenting Renovation Kingdom's Black Friday sale. It's their biggest ever. Save up to 80%. Search Renovation Kingdom now. Tarrant Point and Parramatta.
The first of Australia's 2 golf majors is underway, with Adam Scott co-leading the PGA Championship. Richard French is at Royal Queensland.
Fan favourite Minwoo Lee made all the running on a very warm Brisbane day with 2 birdies and an eagle in the first 9. Queenslander Cam Smith also picking up 2 birdies in the opening 6 holes. Tiger Woods former caddy Steve Williams shocked all by showing up with 664th ranked Brisbane boy Anthony Quayle, who shot to the front of the leaderboard after 15 holes. Another early highlight was New Zealander Kazuma Kaburi, who scored a hole-in-one on the par 3 17th with a pitching wedge. At Royal Queensland, Richard French, 9 News.
The ICC match referee has given the Perth Stadium pitch from the first Ashes test a top rating of very good, providing a fair balance between bat and ball. And Arsenal is now top of both the Premier League and the Champions League tables following a 4-1 win over Bayern Munich at home. Liverpool lost 4-1 to PSV, its 9th loss in 12 games. The Reds now on their worst run of form since 1954. That's sport. I'm Mike Pearsall.
12:07, that's news and sport.
Sport. Proudly 100% Australian-owned Jet Set Plumbing, your drainage and hot water specialists. Over 5,000 5-star reviews. One call solves all. Search Jet Set Plumbing today.
It's Black Friday sale time at Save CPAP Clinic. Save big on all your sleep apnea needs. Whether you're looking for a CPAP machine, mask or accessories, there's only one place to go. That's Save CPAP Clinic. With 85 clinics nationwide, you'll save more with Sove. Don't miss out. Visit sove.com.au. That's SOVE. Ends November 30. T's and C's apply. Always follow the directions for use. CPAP is used for obstructive sleep apnea treatment. Speak to your doctor to see if it's right for you.
Traffic. The Black Friday sale is on now at Raging Waters Sydney. Save up to $40 on season passes. Head to ragingwatersydney.com.au.
Piermont crash on Wattle Street at Bridge Road, just near the fish market. It's only just happened. At Cawdor, got a truck fire on Burragarang Road at Cawdor Road with fireys on the way. Douglas Park roadwork continues on Douglas Park Drive, which is closed at the Nepean River at the Causeway. At West Hoxton, a crash, car into a tree on 32nd Avenue, which is closed near Bailey Avenue. East Gardens works on Wentworth Avenue near Westfield. That's causing heavy eastbound traffic. And at Blacktown, a tree and wires down. Richmond Road remains closed near the showground westbound. That one's an all-day job. Humble Bottom on Tishy B.
I've found Homemade takes the stress out of managing home care services, so you get the support you need your way. They're friendly, knowledgeable and here to help, so you don't have to figure out aged care on your own.
Hi, how may I help?
And with their lower rates, they make quality care affordable, which is why they're Australia's best value home care. Homemade. Smarter support at home. Search Homemade support today.
With NRMA Insurance, you could enjoy our multi-policy discount when you take out 2 or more eligible policies. NRMA Insurance, a help company. Discount applies in tiers based on the number of eligible policies. Maximum tier reached at 9 eligible policies. Visit nrma.com.au/customer-discounts for more info. Discount may be subject to minimum premiums. Always read the PDS. PDS and TMDs available from NRMA Insurance at nrma.com.au.
2GB weather. Rain, hail or shine, we'll be here to help when unexpected weather comes your way. NRMA Insurance, a help company.
Sunny with southwesterly winds up to 30 kilometres per hour. Mostly sunny tomorrow, 19 to 28 degrees in the city, 15 to 35 in the west. Looking ahead, partly cloudy Saturday, possible showers Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. Right now in town, it's 30 degrees, 31 at Bankstown and Gosford. It's 29 degrees at Campbelltown. I'm Madeline McNeil. There'll be more news at 1 on your news leader, Sydney's 2GB.
Now on 2GB and network stations. This is Afternoons with Lucy Zelich, filling in for Michael McLaren.
Good afternoon. What a joy it is to have your company this Thursday, the 27th of November, filling in for the incomparable Michael McLaren. Back next Monday. The sun is shining once again after that snap storm yesterday, with temperatures in the CBD sitting at 26 degrees. I want to know, how did you fare after that wild weather? It was pretty crazy, wasn't it? Were you caught up in any of that devastation? Was your power cut? I'm seeing a couple of text messages already coming through demanding answers because the energy providers haven't done a good enough job of giving those answers. And are your kids home from school? We've seen a number of school closures as well. I'd love to hear how you were impacted if that was the case. Let me know on 131873. You can shoot me a text on 0460873873 or send an email. Just head to the website 2gb.com and click on the feedback icon. And how about this? Have you heard the news? Reports are suggesting that Barnaby Joyce is expected to formally resign from the Nationals and announce his move to One Nation at roughly 1:30pm today. What do you think about it? I've got plenty to say about that very issue, and we'll keep you updated as the news rolls in. Also coming up on today's program, I know we do a lot of talking about women's health issues and the problems they are facing, which is all very important. I don't take away from that. But what about our blokes, our lads, who are more likely to die early than women, be in prison or be confronted by homelessness? I cannot tell you how thrilled I was when I saw that New South Wales Opposition Leader Kelly Sloan labelled men's health one of her top priorities. And I'm pleased to say that we'll be catching up with her in the first hour of the program to unpack all of that. After 1 o'clock, are you a part of the Bank of the Mum and Dad Club? Do you find yourself dispensing your hard-earned pennies to the kids a lot earlier than you'd planned or more than you'd like? I think I can silently hear some of those heads nodding. And it's not easy living in this insanely expensive city, let me tell you. Well, Inviva are dropping into the studio to tell us how you can make your mortgage work to assist your kids. Some interesting stuff will be in that. Also, in the second hour of the program, every Thursday, Michael catches up with the delightful Anna Corday. She's so wonderful to chat all things entertainment. And with the school holidays approaching, I'll tell you, I'm dying to know what she thinks of the latest animated film Zootopia 2, which has been released. So it would be great to hear her thoughts on that one and more. And don't forget, we're giving away tickets to our fabulous event, afternoon tea, should I say, with Michael and the team at the Fullerton Hotel next Thursday. Doesn't that sound like fun, getting into the Christmas spirit? Plus, we've got double movie passes to Andre Riere's Merry Christmas special to give away later this afternoon. So keep listening to be in the running. We are live right across the 2GB networks in Sydney, Canberra and Lithgow. Hello to our extended friends podcasts. Plus, you can listen in via the 2GB app. So if there is something on your mind, there's no secrets that I do love a chat. Drop me a line on 131873. This is Lucy Zelich filling in for Michael McLaren. It's so great to be with you. So, I want to pick up on that point this morning about Barnaby Joyce. The reports broke that he is expected to formally resign from the Nationals and announce his move to One Nation in a statement that will be allegedly delivered in the House of Representatives at about 1:30 this afternoon.
Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. You have been the one for me.
Well, he was the one, but now, speaking of one, it might be the one for One Nation. This morning, the SMH alleged that two of Joyce's political allies who wished to remain anonymous confirmed that Joyce would make his announcement today. Nationals allies, including McCormack and Canavan, a friend and former staffer for Joyce, have been urging the former leader of the party to stay in the tent, as has Bridget McKenzie, who was doing the rounds a little bit earlier live on Sky News. But Joyce's Monday night steak dinner with One Nation leader Pauline Hanson was viewed as near confirmation that he is quitting, prompting Canavan to flick the switch to campaigning against an old ally and boss who would become a political enemy who could cannibalise the already depressed coalition vote. Now, for the last month, we've heard rumblings, rumours and reports that a potential defection to One Nation was on the cards for Joyce, and his comments to my brilliant colleague Mark Levy on the morning's program this past Tuesday was also another indicator of his intentions. Let's take a listen.
I don't like being sort of stuck down the back in a corner, to be quite frank, and that's where I've been put. If I'm going to have a little sook, that's where I've been put. And I'm a front row forward, and front row forwards want to be in the middle of the ruck, and that's where I like to play. And if I'm staying in politics, that's where I am going to play. And otherwise, you get out, and get out and do something else. And so I think if you've got something to say for your nation, you've got something to do for your nation, you get in the best place you possibly can to bring that about. I mean, why would you? I mean, who goes into a race saying, "I hope I come fourth"?
Well, you heard it there. He wants to be amongst it. He's a front row forward. And right now, according to Barnaby, he's not. And fair enough, I suppose, if that's his view. But it's all been pretty humiliating for the Nats, hasn't it? Because let's be honest, if you're watching footage of your colleague go off to have a homemade meal prepared on a sandwich press, no judgment, she got it done, the steak looked good, with the leader of another political party, I mean, you'd be fuming, right? I mean, I made this point earlier to Mark Levy. It'd be like watching your husband go off to have dinner with another woman who's trying to court him and then being expected to welcome him back into your bed. I'll tell you, not my bloody house, that's for sure. But it's embarrassing, isn't it? But speaking of houses, all this does is speak to the fact that the coalition are in desperate need of getting their house in order. It's just been a train wreck, and it has been devastating for the loyalists to watch. From the length of time it took to make the announcement about net zero, which, granted, was the right-ish, I say that deliberately, right-ish outcome, because the right outcome would have been getting out of the Paris Agreement too. But we know they committed to that because they're terrified of the teals and they want to appeal to the trendy inner city voters, who, by the way, are a bunch of hypocrites anyway. These elitists care about the climate, or so they say, but as polls have shown time and time again, particularly in the Daily Telegraph months ago, they actually don't want to cough up the money to address it. But I care about the climate. But by all means, let's keep them happy, right? But even with the net zero announcement, it did little to stem the bleeding. The coalition is still sitting at historic lows in the polls, pulling in just 24%. And if you thought it couldn't get worse, well, guess what it has this week again. The results of the Australian election study this week show that Labor was seen by voters in 2025, this made me laugh, as a better economic manager than the coalition for the first time. As a side note, who are these people being polled, by the way? I mean, do they read the news? Are they aware that we're on our way to $1 trillion of debt under the Albanese government? Headline inflation jumping up to 3.8%? Hello, is there anybody in there? But it doesn't seem to be making a difference for the opposition because, again, they're in the business of creating history at the moment. because for the first time, the proportion of voters who identified as non-partisan exceeded those who identified as Liberal voters. That's terrifying. And then, of course, there's the rumours of a leadership challenge with Susan Lee that they cannot seem to get away from. And all the while, Pauline Hanson's numbers are surging. And by the way, good on her for exposing the hypocrites this week in the Senate chamber. So on the balance of all of this, and taking all of this into account, the ultimate question is, can you really blame Barnaby for wanting to leave, if that is indeed what he does? We'll soon find out.
At Coles, enjoy the perfect sunny snack with half-price Peter's drumstick cones. 4 or 6-pack, $4.75 to $4.90 just $4.75 each. In-store or online at Coles. Excludes Peter's drumstick plant-based cones, 4-pack, $4.75 Offer ends Tuesday.
Have you looked in the boot of your car? Is there a spare in there? Don't get stuck on the side of the road with a flat. Get a Road Hero. Road Hero is the complete space saver spare wheel kit with everything you need. A tyre, jack, wheel brace, gloves, warning triangle, even a headlamp, all packed in a durable storage bag. Be road ready with a Road Hero Space Saver Spare Wheel Kit. Find the right kit for your car at roadhero.com.au.
Environment laws that don't stop new coal and gas are as useless as a fly screen on a submarine.
Burning coal and gas fuels disasters, and Australia Institute research shows you are paying the price. If our environment laws don't stop fossil fuel expansion, they're useless.
Authorised by the Australia Institute, Canberra.
You've worked hard, and now that you've retired, it's time to go on that holiday you've always dreamed about. At Heartland Bank, they understand you may be prioritising your home or helping your family financially instead of putting travel at the very top of your list. That's why their reverse mortgage offers Australians over 55 a smart way to unlock the equity in their home to fund their holiday and turn that one-day dream into reality. Imagine having the financial freedom to take that trip across Australia or embarking on an overseas adventure. So enjoy the best of both worlds. Travel, then come back to the home you love with Heartland Bank, Australia's leading reverse mortgage provider, helping Australians for over 20 years. Eligibility criteria and terms and conditions apply. See Heartland's Bank website for details.
Some people wait until Christmas to upgrade their phone. Smart people get a Black Friday deal with eMaySim. Save big on Samsung, Apple, Google and Motorola. Up to 60% off selected phones.
Amazing!
Requires purchase of a SIM plan. Offer ends 2nd of December. T's and C's apply.
Christmas is coming, and so is the maestro Andre Rieu.
Hello, my dear friends. This December, my brand new concert, Merry Christmas, is coming to the big screen. I can't wait to celebrate with you. See you in cinemas.
Join Andre, his orchestra, and special guests for their biggest Christmas concert yet, with nearly 1,000 performers. In cinemas for one weekend only, December 6 and 7. Don't miss it. Book now at andreincinemas.com.
If you want Black Friday savings, we've got them at Hughes Menswear. Up to 80% off famous name brands in all sizes from small to 17XL. Savile Row, Cambridge, Nordica and many more. Hurry in to see us. Upper level, Basil Plaza.
Go, you good thing, go, you good thing. Punt with Ladbrokes and enjoy a quicker, levelled up app. Find, place and track bets with Ladbrokes faster than ever before. Go, you good thing, go, you good thing. Chances are you're about to lose.
Afternoons for Heartland Bank, supporting Australians over 55 to unlock home equity and live the way they choose in retirement. Reverse mortgage eligibility criteria and conditions apply.
Good afternoon, you're with Lucy Zellage filling in for Michael McLaren. 131873 is our number, or 0460873873. Would love to hear your thoughts on the points that I made there about Barnaby. Will he, though, here's a flip side to this coin, will he potentially regret leaving the Nationals? Are you someone that believes that, in fact, that this could be a grave mistake if he makes that jump? Are you also someone that has abandoned the coalition? And if you have, what were your reasons? Some feedback coming through already via the text line. This one from Diana. Lucy, I think that Barnaby will be more useful in the Senate than he is in the position he is now. We need more senators on the right side. He has my vote. Thank you for your thoughts, Diana. This one from Edward. When Pauline Hanson retires, Barnaby is the best person to replace her. That's an interesting point. Could he be the future for the One Nation Party. This funny one from Susan. Love this afternoon, Lucy. She's a good cook, Pauline, very adaptable. I can't say I've ever seen anyone prepare a steak on a sandwich press, but I was here for it. I thought, what a wonderful, industrious, useful woman here, because she's really adapted to her environment, welcomed him into her office, served up a nice, I'm pretty sure I saw like a nice baked potato dish there as well. It looked delicious, but she pulled out all the stops to court him and to have that conversation and to also make it quite public. So there's something to be said for that too, right? You know, there's paparazzi shots of celebrities that you always see, and you know that you think that they're so candid, like, oh, the photographers just happened to be there at that time when they saw this celebrity walking out of a skincare clinic. I mean, come on, we're not idiots. We know you called them. We know that it was all pre-planned, and this was a very calculated move, I felt, from both Barnaby and Pauline. But here's a counter thought to all of this. Anthony saying via the text line, basically having a cry, he isn't leader anymore. He was all bark and no bite when he was in a leadership role, set up the sheep export disaster as Attorney General Minister. Barnaby would be more suited in a fringe party. I don't know about that. And is One Nation a fringe party? Do we see it as an outlier as much as what we used to now that they are surging in the polls, 15%, and edging further and further? I mean, I've had some very interesting conversations with people this past week wanting to know what could we potentially see post the burqa incident, stunt, act, whatever you want to call it this week. Could that have an impact on the polls for One Nation? I mean, I've seen some articles suggesting that that it was indicative of her pushing the self-destruct button. I'm not so sure of that. Anthony again on the text line asking who was the hypocrite in the Senate, Pauline, for wanting to ban items of clothing similar to that in Middle Eastern countries. I've outlined much of this. Again, full disclosure, I am a fortnightly columnist with the Daily Telegraph. I penned a piece on this exact issue this week. I was waiting with bated breath in the minutes, hours and days after that moment to see the feminists, the self-declared feminists, like Greens leader Larissa Waters, who has a lot to say and did have a lot to say when the late-term abortion debate was being discussed, when she levelled criticism at Liberal MPs like Andrew Hastie, saying, well, they need to keep their rosaries off our ovaries. Right? He had a lot to say about bodily autonomy then, but now you're trying to suggest that a burqa, in which is designed to cover and obscure a woman's entire face and hide her from society, is somehow a symbol of freedom? Spare us. Spare us the absolute nonsense, because there is no justice in that for women who, after they were liberated in 2002 in Afghanistan specifically from the Taliban, took to the streets to burn the burqa. So don't tell me that that's something worth defending. And there were a number of women, including the leader of the opposition, who should have taken a more firm stance on that issue, saying we value the women in this country and we would never impose such an oppressive style onto our women. And we don't do that here. But nobody wanted to say that. Going to the text line again, this one from Steve. Nationals should form a coalition with One Nation and create a true Conservative party to challenge the current rabble we have running in this country. It's really disappointing, and I think a lot of people feel that way. About sandwich press from Dan via the text line. Hi, Lucy. Sandwich presses have been used on construction sites forever. This is nothing new. It was new to me, and maybe that's because I've clearly never worked in construction and never had to make a steak on anything other than the barbecue or on the frying pan at home. But I like these inventive approaches and this industrious behaviour going on when it comes to not just courting another man from a different political party, but also looking to prepare steak in an entirely different way. Still with the rabble of politics, I know that this is something that has been generating a lot of discussion. The City of Sydney Council is, of course, facing some serious scrutiny after it spent a whopping, how about this, $19.6 million on the installation and maintenance of planter boxes in the CBD. $19.6 million on flowers? I'm not going to lie, and I know that my colleague Ben Fordham made this point on breakfast this morning. He said it looks nice, it's lovely, looks beautiful, really, but $19.6 million? And then when you also take into account that they spent $96.5 million on the bomb website, which has been an absolute disaster, you kind of think, was this really the best way to spend taxpayer dollars? Particularly in Sydney, right, where we consider, I speak to police officers all the time, and if you are a police officer listening, you will always have my utmost support. I will always go to fight for our firefighters, nurses and our frontline workers in the police force, because they are what keep this city safe and ticking, and they are putting their lives on the line or rescuing people, saving their lives. They are very important. But when you're thrust into a situation where you're prepared to spend $96.5 million on a website, which was a complete and utter disaster, and $19.6 million on the installation and maintenance of flowers, which, by the way, was outsourced to a Melbourne company. Ha ha, joke's on us. We're all fools, aren't we? When you're doing all of those things and then you speak to police officers who are telling you that they have outdated equipment that they are being forced to use, chief among them their vests, right, which are supposed to keep them safe and that no longer are fit for purpose, then you've got a problem with how you're spending your money. And as the late Kerry Packer had said in that infamous interview, that Question Time, where he was asked about, his evasion of tax and spending, he said, well, you're not doing a very good job of spending it or justifying why you deserve more.
Traffic. Northbound lane changes on the Warringah Freeway are now in place. Plan your trip and be in the correct lane on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Visit livetraffic.com.
Hello, Lucy. Approaching the fish markets, and I've just been held up in traffic on Wattle Street at Wattle Crescent. I know fireys, police and a very annoyed young lady all in attendance. Wires are down at Glassodia and a section of Shepherd's Road's closed in both directions. At East Gardens, emergency roadworks have closed two of the eastbound lanes of Wentworth Avenue, just near Banks Avenue. At Richmond Road, Blanktown, we've got wires down. Westbound lanes are closed between Balmoral Street and Showground Access Road. I'm Steve Carline on 2GB.
Most people think that their super fund retires when they do, so they withdraw their money or stop looking for ways to increase its value. But with Hester, our specialised services and products mean your super keeps working long after you stop. Hester, super with impact. Hester is issued by HEST Australia Limited. Before making a decision about this product, read the PDS and TMD at hester.com.au and consider if it is appropriate for you. Past performance does not indicate future performance.
Black Friday deals are on at Officeworks. Get a Google Pixel 10 128GB smartphone for $897 or a Samsung Galaxy Watch 8 for $417. Shop in-store, online or via the Officeworks app today.
Yep, you can keep walking that track. Why, you could even run it. Or perhaps you want to do 18 holes instead of 9. With the confidence you feel wearing the most absorbent Depend Expert Care Maxi underwear, you can do just about anything. The Advanced Absorb Lock Core offers quick absorption to keep skin dry and protected from odour for up to 12 hours. Shop the Depend Expert Care Maxi underwear range for a great price every day, exclusive to Chemist Warehouse. Chemist Warehouse, great savings every day.
Shop trendy and affordable front doors with Doors Plus Black Friday sale. Save up to $428 on a range of single and double doors fully installed. Timber, fiberglass, it's your choice. Plus we can fit, paint, stain and deliver. Black Friday sale ends Monday. Doors Plus, no fuss.
Bali is nice. Vancouver's pretty good too. But nowhere beats Sydney Harbour. And now's the perfect time to get out on the world's most beautiful harbour with Captain Cook Cruises. Gather your family or friends for a Harbour View long lunch, the ever-popular high tea at sea, or the famous Penfolds Gold Degustation dinner. All perfect ways to enjoy our magnificent harbour. Make memories. Book now at captaincook.com.au. Terms and conditions apply. Captain Cook Cruises, your trusted operator on Sydney Harbour for over 50 years.
Our Black Friday sale means huge savings at Hughes Menswear. Up to 80% off Savile Row and Nautica Casual Wear. All sizes up to 17XL. Hurry in to see us. Upper level Basil Plaza. Hughes Menswear up to 80% off Black Friday sale.
The BMW Black Friday sale event has been extended. Don't miss this opportunity to get behind the wheel with savings equal to the GST across selected new BMW models in stock. Experience performance, innovation and luxury with a range of vehicles ready for immediate delivery. Don't miss the BMW Black Friday sale event. This exceptional offer must end Sunday, November 30. Visit your nearest participating BMW dealer today. Terms and conditions apply.
G'day, Ray Hadley here for Bryden's Lawyers. Are you suffering from an injury that was not your fault? At Bryden's Lawyers, we understand the challenges you face. Their team of experienced personal injury lawyers will protect your needs and provide guidance and support every step of the way. For a risk-free, no-obligation assessment of your claim, contact Bryden's Lawyers today on 1800 848 848 or visit brydens.com.au. Who helps you in your time of need? Bryden's Lawyers do.
9 News is your news. Join the 9 News team for the stories that matter. Made in Sydney, for Sydney. For the full day's wrap-up, 9 News, nightly at 6.
Afternoons on 2GB, thanks to The Drain Man. Got a gurgle? Get The Drain Man. He's the local expert who only clears and relines drains.
Good afternoon, you're with Lucy Zellage filling in for Michael McLaren. Great to have your company. Have you got some thoughts? I want to know them. Give me a call on the open line number 131873 or the text line 0460873873 or send me an email via 2gb.com. So much feedback coming in on a raft of things, and I want to get to the call line now where Riley has phoned in. Good afternoon, Riley.
Good afternoon, Lucy. How are you?
I'm well, mate. Tell me, what's on your mind?
See, I was just listening to your reporting on the City of Sydney's plant installations, and it reminded me of their last round of plant installations in Mark Place actually prevents homeless services from delivering food and blankets to homeless people.
Oh, my gosh. Seriously?
Yeah. So they had... I was volunteering with the Port Night Patrol, and they had to completely change their route because the truck was just unable to service the people that were there just because they were completely blocked by the plants.
And if you ever needed another reason, and we've already got many, don't we, Riley, to know that they spent over $19 million on them, and the fact that there's so much irony in that, and thank you so much for your call, that they've spent $19 million and we have homeless people on the streets who could benefit from that, right? Remember the food bank report that came out telling us that 20% of Australians are also skipping meals? They don't have enough to put food on their tables, and yet we're spending that money on flower boxes that then food services cannot get access to the homeless that require said food for. It's just remarkable, and, you know, no wonder people are so disillusioned with politics. Peter has phoned in from Mossvale. Good afternoon, Peter. What's on your mind?
G'day, Lucy. Oh, just chatting about Pauline's efforts in her little kitchenette.
Weren't they great?
Well, you've got to remember, Pauline owned, I think for many years, a fish and chip takeaway store. So she knows her way around a hot plate and being resourceful. So I'm not surprised that she had a crack at slapping a Wagyu on a sandwich press.
I had all the time in the world for it. I thought it was great. What did you think about the overall meeting in the first place? What are your views on Barnaby's potential defection to One Nation? Are you yay or nay?
Oh, 100% yes. And I think because he's been badly treated by the Nats and simply, you know, as he said, he's been put back on the back shelf, and that's not where someone of his ability should be. And obviously Littleproud's, you know, fearful of him because he's probably jealous of his popularity, and that's where he sticks him. And I think that, you know, I think one of the other callers, or it might have been even yourself, said they don't blame him for what he's done. I mean, let's face it, he hasn't been treated that well, and he's still got a lot to offer. And he's one of the very few really, truly vocal politicians against these transmission rollout across Australia and its destruction and its effect on farming communities. And I think that, you know, One Nation's a good fit. And I also believe, look, I was saying this 2 years ago, that the Nats should leave the Libs and form a One Nation coalition. I think ultimately maybe this could be the trigger to pull all the best Conservatives from the Liberals, because let's face it, more than half the Liberals are lefties anyway, and they're just gone. You know, they've got to form. They'll end up being like as relevant as the Conservative Party in Britain is. That's where they're going to end up. and you'll see. And I think Reform Australia, I've seen rumblings online. I don't know. The name doesn't carry here, right? Because we're not reforming Brexit or anything like that. It's different out here. But I think a much better alternative is a much bigger coalition. I'm not sure about three parties, but I think the Nats and One Nation together would be truly give voters a third option, an option that is truly an opposition.
And there you said it, Peter. Thank you so much for your thoughts, because that is what it's about. It's about an alternative style of government, an alternative way of thinking. And for so many years, of course, it's been connected to conservatism, which is what it first was established to serve, right, under the guise of Sir Robert Menzies. That was the whole point of it. But when you're not seeing an alternative, when you're not seeing an opportunity to have your voice reflected in said alternative, well, then what's your choice? You're going to start looking elsewhere. And it's why a lot of people in the UK have looked elsewhere. It's why Nigel Farage is doing well as part of Reform UK, and why his numbers are surging. Siv, one of our regular listeners, has phoned in. Siv, good afternoon, my friend. How are you?
Oh, not bad. Regular listener or pest, one or the other. Look,
You're not a pest. You are nowhere near it, mate. We love having you on the program.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, yes. Look, just on this Barnaby Joyce issue, I think it was probably Australia's worst-kept political secret. If you know that, if you can see that anyone who follows the news can figure out that he was always going to do this. I mean, the way he was commenting, the way he was talking, the way a lot of the reports were panning out, I think it was a pretty badly kept old secret. I do have to say though that Matt Canavan, his very good friend, does have a point that sometimes a lot of these defections don't always work out. I mean, the last time somebody very loudly and proudly defected, Mark Latham. Now, some people love him, some people don't really think he's much of a paragon of virtue, but Mark Latham defected and ended up, that didn't end up quite working for him. Him and Pauline really did fall out. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if there is something to what Matt Canavan says, only time will tell, because Pauline does have a way of chewing through a lot of people sometimes.
Yes, and that's a good point. And thank you for sharing that, Siv, and for your call. And you're not a pest. I want to reiterate that. I love seeing your name pop up on the text line, and you've always got some wonderful things to contribute to the program, and that's what Talkback is all about. Love our listeners. But here's the thing, right? Pauline is someone who is very staunch in her convictions and her political beliefs and the way that the One Nation Party should be run, and the policies upon which it should stand, the direction it should be going, and the convictions that should go along with it. So I'm not necessarily that disturbed that she has fallen out with several of these characters, and we know Mark Latham is quite divisive. In fact, the point that needs to be made about Mark, I think it's a lot of his personal life that ends up dominating the headlines these days over his political career, and that's one thing you could put to the side. But the other side of it is that a lot of the things that he says make sense and resonates with a lot of people. But you know, I don't know that given the circumstances that the coalition are in at the moment, that, as I've said, and Peter, who phoned in, echoed, could you blame him given the situation that the coalition are in at the moment? And that's the point that needs to be made. Coming up after this, let's catch up with, speaking of the Liberals and the coalition, we're going to catch up with the new leader of the opposition, Kelly Sloan.
There's a place where you'll always receive the best care. A place where you'll feel more relaxed and comfortable. And a place where no request is too big or too small. At Silver Chain, that place is your place. For more than a century, Silver Chain has been caring for Australians in their own homes. Whether it's a little support at home or help with complex healthcare needs, get the best care home delivered with Silver Chain.
With Officeworks for Business, access exclusive limited-time Black Friday deals. Plus, save 5% on thousands of business essentials. Sign up for free to Officeworks for Business today. T's and C's apply.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True.
Just make a purchase at Binglee and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Binglee. Terms and conditions apply.
In 1945, one of the most dramatic court trials in history took place in Germany. In the aftermath of World War II, Allied forces combined to hold the Nazi regime to account for the horrors of the Holocaust. Among them was Hitler's second-in-command, Hermann Goering. Witness the effort to hold him to justice in the new film, Nuremberg, starring Russell Crowe, Rami Malek and Michael Shannon. Critics say Crowe delivers an Oscar-winning performance as the enigmatic and terrifying Goering in this captivating thriller inspired by real events. Nuremberg has an urgent and powerful message that's more relevant than ever today. This is a must-see on the big screen. Nuremberg, only in cinemas from December 4.
G'day, Honey Badger here. What's this Black Friday business about? People are grabbing bargains left, right and centre. The best one I've seen is from my mates down at Aircheck World. They have up to 60% off store-wide. Struth, is that even allowed? They have lithium batteries, power stations, jump starters, solar and more. Aircheck World's Black Friday sale with up to 60% off store-wide is on now. Visit aircheckworld.com.au. Gee, 60% off? That's nuts.
You found it. The right home for your next chapter. But your current place isn't even on the market yet. And the thought of missing out, it's hard to shake. With Bridget, you don't have to wait. We help you unlock the equity in your current home so you can buy now, sell later. Bridget, trusted by over 17,000 mortgage brokers and thousands of Aussie homeowners. Speak with your broker or apply online at bridget.com.au.
Lending criteria, credit assessment, conditions, fees and charges apply.
Our Black Friday sale is on now at Hughes Menswear. Save up to 80% off famous brands. Yes, up to 80% off. Hughes Menswear, Upper Level Basil Plaza, making big blokes look their best for almost 50 years.
If your home has grotty grout, the Grout Guy will sort it out. Showers, bathrooms, splashbacks and balconies, they can re-grout it all.
Afternoons on 2GB, thanks to Tomcat, the top cat in Sydney roofing. 1300 Tomcat, tomcatroofing.com.au. That's cat with a K.
You're with Lucy Zellage filling in for Michael McLaren. It's coming up to 45 minutes past 12, and we will always be happy to make time for politicians who are on time and happy to speak to us here at 2GB, because it's been 1 week now since Mark Speakman resigned as leader of the New South Wales Liberal Party and Kelly Sloan took the helm as New South Wales opposition leader. Already in that week, she has demonstrated that we should be paying more attention to the Liberals. She's talking to the media. She's opening herself up. She's putting herself out there. That's what an opposition leader should be doing. And we know her name. And they could turn into a force to be reckoned with yet before the next state election. And one such instance of this is the opposition leader's focus on men's mental health. I really liked what I read this morning with particular respect to this issue. She said, we know we've reached a critical point on this issue in the state, and the generation of lost boys, as they're being called, is highlighting the stark differences in access to healthcare for men and women. Australian men are less likely to have a diagnosed mental health condition than women, but that doesn't mean that they're not going through these struggles. In fact, 43% of men in this country, that's almost half, will experience anxiety or depression at some point in their lives. 26% of men admit they delay seeing their GP when they need help. It means our men are more likely to die early than women. And I'm a mother of a son, and I truly believe that this discourse needs to change. But our government policy needs to reflect our attitudes towards men's health broadly and indicate that we want to see better outcomes. And Kelly Sloan, she's all for that. She is, as I said, the New South Wales opposition leader, and I'm pleased to say she joins me on the line now. Kelly, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Lucy. It's nice to have a chat.
I love that you're here for a chat. Can you tell me, I mean, it's been a crazy few weeks for you, Kel. Can I call you Kel? Can we dumb it down, Kel?
You can. Why not?
How the bloody hell are you?
I'm great. I've been surviving on a lot less sleep than I usually have, and life's been busy. But can I just say, it's the most extraordinary privilege to have this job. And to see the support I've had over the past week, whether it's my colleagues or constituents or heading out to different parts of Sydney, I've had a really warm reception, bar a few cranky protesters, and I'm excited about the role and the pathway we have ahead over the next 16 months to the next election.
I thought you handled yourself really well in that situation because you've got a man there that's berating you, that obviously has a position that he wants to get across, but you made it clear that people aren't always going to disagree with you, and we have and should have the ability to be able to have respectful disagreement in this country and be open to that conversation, especially if you're someone that subscribes to a democracy, right?
I couldn't agree more. And we need to be able to have more challenging conversations, as you say, in a respectful way. And, you know, there are a couple of protesters, and they didn't even come from Western Sydney, and they turned up to interrupt. It was a one-way dialogue. They weren't happy to give me their name. And so, look, I'm happy to walk up and to say, hey, I'm happy to have a chat, happy to sit down, what's your name? But, you know, it wasn't a conversation. So anyway, they moved on and we got on with the day. And can I say the overwhelming number of people that were, you know, greeted me warmly, that got a selfie, that shook my hand, that said good luck, you know, was really what I took out of that day.
I know that we're going to talk about men's mental health, which I really applaud you for coming out and having such a strong position on this. But more broadly at the federal level, I know that you're here as the representative of the New South Wales opposition here for the state of New South Wales. But more broadly, the rabble that's occurring at the federal level as well, and the fact that the party needs to get its act together. What are your observations of all of this?
Well, I think there's obviously, you know, it's a difficult time, and federal colleagues are adjusting after an election loss that was pretty shocking. And after that comes a lot of reflection, challenging each other around ideas, and that's a normal part of the process. I've got great faith in Susan Lee and her ability to steer the party through this. Get through summer and start the new year fresh. But can I say in New South Wales, we have a great team. You know, my move into the new role came from a united party room, and we've got an energised team, and I know I can count on them.
Well, New South Wales residents that do vote Liberal will be hoping that they can count on you, Kel. Can they count on you? How do you feel about your chances at the next election?
Well, they can count on me to give it my very best, and I know I'm backed up by, you know, what I think is one of the most impressive political teams in the country. We've got, you know, breadth of experience, people that have, you know, held ministerial office. You've got 6 of our team under the age of 40. We've got almost as many women as men. You know, we are a party that, that has a lot of bench strength. And when I compare that to Labor, I think we outmatch them every day of the week. So, you know, your listeners can count on me to prosecute the case, to work hard, and importantly, you know, next year as we lead up to the election, have a very clear policy platform so they know what we stand for and how we're standing up for them.
Net zero, what's your position on that?
Our position as a party room hasn't changed. We determined that in the week before I took the leadership, that we would be consistent with the position we've had since 2016. That doesn't mean that we're not very much focused on the here and the now and how we can support particularly regional communities who are really doing it tough right now. The rollout by Labor has been bungled. It's been poorly managed. There's been a lack of consultation. Got some people doing well out of the rollout, others missing out. That's not good enough. I'm going to be working with my Liberal colleagues in regional New South Wales as well as the Nats to find a pathway forward on this.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out, because I know that a lot of people have a lot of strong feelings about net zero, but I mentioned it there at the top about men's mental health, and I was really pleased to see you come and take a strong position on that and label it one of your top priorities. You are the mother of boys. I have a son as well, and we always hear about a lot of issues that women are experiencing. I think, Kel, we're very good at putting that front and centre, but the men not so much, and we just see how much it is impacting them. Why is this such a priority for you?
Well, before I came to the role of opposition leader, I was the shadow health spokesperson, and it it connected me with health issues of people around the state. And what I found alarming was the disparity of outcomes between men and women when it comes to mental and physical health. So, men still die 4 years younger than women from diseases that can be prevented. They're twice as likely to be living with heart disease. Suicide, and this is a painful stat, remains the leading cause of death among men between the ages of 15 to 44. It's tragic. Like 3 out of 4 suicides are men. 92% of prisoners are men. There are more male homeless. But it goes on. And I think there are reasons for that. And it's time we start talking about the blokes and letting them know that we care deeply. Because if a man is healthy and happy, chances are their wife's happy and healthy, their mum, their sister, and their friends as well. And I feel sorry for a lot of guys these days who don't know their place, who are suffering from a bit of an identity crisis that's not their own making. Masculinity is not really always appreciated and understood. And, when men go to the GP, as an example, they're less likely to get a good outcome because they don't open up as much. The GPs don't know how to tap into finding out what their symptoms are. So there's a whole lot we can address. But I think, as I said before, time to start talking about the blokes and addressing the issue of all those young men, boys, and older men who are slipping through the cracks.
I love what you said there. I want to pick up on that point about masculinity, because too often all we hear, Kel, is about how any form of masculinity is toxic and that it's not good. And we know that there are elements, there are bad seeds out there, but I'll tell you, there are bad seeds within the female camp as well, right, that aren't doing us a hell of a lot of good either. But the important point about, absolutely, but the important point about appreciating masculinity and allowing men to feel masculine without it being perceived as something that is negative. That's right. And I think there's been a really important adjustment in the last decade around, female empowerment and equality and removing some of the terrible workplace harassment that has occurred. That has been essential. And many of those women who spoke up have been very brave and powerful and have made important change. But somewhere coming out of that conversation, we've forgotten to talk to young men in particular about their roles and why their masculinity is positive and important, and letting them believe in themselves. And this is what I'm hearing from health experts, from psychologists I've spoken to, that's the missing piece of the puzzle at the moment. Making sure young men in particular know their place, and when they are and when they're confident in that, they're not being attracted to extreme right-wing elements like the neo-Nazis we saw on the steps of Parliament House who prey on those vulnerable young men, rather than us stepping in and supporting them and saying, we love you guys, just be you. And the majority of men, as you know, may have a really powerful and supportive influence on women. And we want to be able to support them, Kel. I appreciate everything that you are doing in this space. I commend you on committing to this, and thank you so much for your time today. Thanks. Always happy to have a chat. New South Wales Opposition Leader Kelly Sloan there.
Traffic presenting Renovation Kingdom's Black Friday sale. It's their biggest ever. Save up to 80%. Search Renovation Kingdom now, Tarrant Point and Parramatta.
Emergency roadworks at Newport have taken out 2 of the 3 northbound lanes of Barrenjoey Road at Cecil Road. Also have crews on Lane Cove Road at North Ryde, and that's affecting traffic going north at Treppett Road. Wentworth Avenue East Gardens has a burst water main. We have a couple of eastbound lanes flooded and closed near Banks Avenue. Traffic lights are flashing at Eastwood, Terry and Midson Road intersection, and Richmond Road Blacktown. We've got wires down, westbound lanes closed between Balmoral Street and Showground Access Road. I'm Steve Carline.
When there's a roofing job to be done, don't trust it to just anyone.
Call us first, Tomcat. We're the top cat in Sydney roofing. We've been around Sydney for over 20 years, repairing, restoring and replacing tile and metal roofs. For a free quote, call 1-300-866-528 or visit tomcatroofing.com.au. That's cat with a K. Oh, and don't forget to mention code TOMCAT2GB to receive a 10% discount on your quoted price. T's and C's apply.
Black Friday deals are on at Officeworks. Get your smart home started with a Ring doorbell from $75 or a Ring outdoor battery camera plus for $97. Shop in-store, online or via the Officeworks app today.
Environment laws that don't stop new coal and gas are as useless as a glass door on a dunny.
Burning coal and gas fuels disasters, and Australia Institute research shows you are paying the price. If our environment laws don't stop fossil fuel expansion, they're useless.
Authorised by the Australia Institute, Canberra.
I've found Homemade takes the stress out of managing home care services.
Hi, how may I help?
And with their lower rates, they make quality aged care affordable, which is why they're Australia's best value home care. Search Homemade support today.
Chemist Warehouse are having a massive Black Friday sale. Hurry in this Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Better jog into Chemist Warehouse and save on vitamins. Swiss Vitamins range half price off RRP. Yes, please. What about Blackmore's? You betcha. It's half price off RRP too. Excludes bulk pack sizes. For these specials and so much more, visit us in-store or online. 4 days only. Hurry in to grab a bargain and save, save, save. Sale ends November 30. Exclusions apply. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings this Black Friday.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, the Blind Factory! Order your new blinds or curtains at current crazy Christmas costs and you'll have them installed in the early new year. The Blind Factory! Crazy Christmas costs to save yourself the second half of a sweltering summer? Call 13 Blinds.
Hear how NAB, Australia's biggest business bank, helps their customers move their businesses forward.
Oh, we've been with NAB since '93 and the relationship's always been good. They trust us, we trust them.
Yeah, they've been great. Extremely flexible.
Oh, the responsiveness and the professionalism of NAB, it's been really fantastic.
To find out how NAB can help move your business forward, search NAB Business Experts.
NAB. More than money.
You're listening to Afternoons on 2GB. Waking up sore or stiff? A physio can now custom fit your bed. Head to physiobedfitting.com.
Hey, how about that? Great to get the thoughts of New South Wales opposition leader Kelly Sloan. Plenty of reaction to that, but the news is next and we'll have plenty more coming for you in the next hour.
On the app or streaming on your PC. It's clear 2GB sounds great. Sydney's 2GB 873.
It's 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Madeline McNeil. Loved ones of a murdered Sydney woman are pleading for people to have frank and open discussions about domestic violence. An inquest into the killing of Lily James by former partner Paul Tyson has made a range of recommendations aimed at boosting awareness and action around issues such as coercive control and abuse using technology. Lily's father says everyone can do more to tackle the issue.
If it's been a while since you talked about violence or abuse against women, whether that's home, at work, or with friends or in the community, please start that conversation. Awareness, education, and speaking up matters.
Some beaches on the mid-north coast will be closed until at least tomorrow following a fatal shark attack. A man and woman in their 20s were swimming at Kylie's Beach at Crowdy Bay early this morning when they were mauled. The woman died at the scene. The man has been flown to John Hunter Hospital with significant leg injuries. Barnaby Joyce's legacy will be trashed if he moves from the National Party to rival One Nation. Mr Joyce is widely expected to quit the Nationals during a speech in federal parliament later this hour. His colleague Bridget McKenzie has told Sky News Mr Joyce should stay in the tent rather than join a party of protest.
He has done some significant things in his 20 years. He's built highways, he's kicked pistol and boo out, he's reformed our biosecurity laws, made changes to the Competition Act to actually protect small business. So he's actually done serious things and his legacy is significant. That will be trashed if he goes to One Nation.
The Prime Minister and opposition leader are at odds over whether she was offered a meeting on Labor's environmental reforms. Anthony Albanese's clinched a deal with the Greens to pass the legislation, which he claims is good for business and the environment. Mr Albanese claims he offered Liberal leader Susan Lee a meeting and she failed to take the opportunity. Ms Lee says that's not right. Tens of thousands of properties are still without power after wild weather brought down trees and damaged power lines. Energy crews are facing a mammoth workload. Endeavour Energy's David Campbell says the extent of the damage is posing extra challenges.
Some of these trees are falling from 15 or 20 metres away from our power lines. So obviously we don't trim or manage those trees when they're that far away. But when very strong winds, 120 kilometres an hour, when those trees do come over, unfortunately they do bring power lines down.
Also making news, police have uncovered another 2 kill cars in Sydney's southwest, arresting 2 men and a teenager, and former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has had his official portrait unveiled at Parliament House. In finance, the All Ords is up 17 points at 89.16, one Australian dollar buying 65.3 US cents.
Finance. This month, receive a $1,000 test drive bonus across a Motor JQ SUV range. Visit motorjq.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Good afternoon. Aussie Anthony Quayle and Kiwi Ryan Fox are joint clubhouse leaders at 4 under in round 1 of the Australian PGA Championship at Royal Queensland. A shot back are Minwoo Lee and Adam Scott. Cameron Smith is 2 under. Supercars drivers will hit the track in Adelaide this afternoon for the first practice session ahead of the grand final this weekend. Brock Feeney, Will Brown, Chaz Mossad and Kai Allen are all in contention to claim the championship. Despite the first Ashes test finishing in 2 days, the Perth Stadium pitch has been given a very good rating, the highest possible by the ICC. Nearly 2 million tickets have already been sold for next year's FIFA World Cup to be played in North America. And Bayern Munich's 18-game unbeaten run has come to an end, defeated 3-1 by Arsenal in the Champions League. That's sport. I'm Adam Hawes.
It's 1:04. That's the latest news and sport.
2GB Sport. Forgotten an anniversary or birthday? Redeem yourself with Mr. Rose's same-day delivery. Order now at mrroses.com.au.
Unlock a better life with Heartland Bank. Your home isn't just a house, it's where you've built your life. Maintaining it can be costly, especially in retirement. That's why Heartland Bank's reverse mortgage offers over 55s a smart way to unlock the equity in their home for those long-awaited home improvements without regular repayments, selling or moving. Search Heartland Bank for details. Unlock a better life with Heartland Bank. Eligibility criteria and terms and conditions apply.
Traffic. Raging Water Sydney is #1 for summer fun. Save up to $40 on season passes during the Black Friday sale. RagingWaterSydney.com.au.
At Erskine Park, a B-double has conked out on Erskine Park Road at Lenore Drive. Now, our emergency road workers are spread a bit thin. They're everywhere at the moment, including Lane Cove Road, northbound at North Ryde. Also, Wentworth Avenue at East Gardens. They're catering for a burst water main near Banks Avenue. And at Newport, emergency roadworks on Barrenjoey Road, northbound at Cecil Road. Wires have come down at Glossodia and a section of Shepherds Road closed in both directions. I'm Steve Carline on Sydney's 2GB.
Time for a breath of fresh air? The Works, a new master-planned community in Corrimal, offers green parks, nature trails, shops and playgrounds, all a short stroll from the beach, with easy connections to Sydney by car or train. Brand new 2-bedroom apartments from $895,000 with just a 5% deposit. Step into the lifestyle, tour the new display apartment and explore the detailed Stage 1 model. Book now at theworkscorrimal.com.au.
With NRMA Insurance, you could enjoy our multi-policy discount when you take out 2 or more eligible policies. NRMA Insurance, a help company. Discount applies in tiers based on the number of eligible policies. Maximum tier reached at 9 eligible policies. Visit nrma.com.au/customer-discounts for more info. Discount may be subject to minimum premiums. Always read the PDS. PDS and TMDs available from NRMA Insurance at nrma.com.au.
2GB weather. Rain, hail or shine, we'll be here to help when unexpected weather comes your way. NRMA Insurance, a help company.
Sunny with southwesterly winds after 30 kilometres per hour. Mostly sunny tomorrow, 19 to 28 degrees in the city, 15 to 35 in the west. Looking ahead, partly cloudy Saturday, possible showers Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. Right now in town, it's 30 degrees, the same at Campbelltown and Terry Hills. It's 31 degrees at Bankstown and Penrith. I'm Madeline McNeil. There'll be more news at 1:30 on your news leader, Sydney's 2GB.
Now on 2GB and network stations. It's back to Afternoons with Lucy Zelich, filling in for Michael McLaren.
And what a treat it is. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to the program this Thursday, the 27th of November 2025. The sun is shining. We've put behind us that snap crazy storm from yesterday. And here in the Sydney CBD, we are looking at beautiful temperatures, tops of 27 at the moment. But we do understand that there are a lot of people who have still been affected by the storm. A lot of power outages still right across the state. Let me know if you are someone that has still been affected by that. We heard earlier this morning my colleague Ben Fordham on the breakfast program talking to several energy providers who wouldn't, of course, put their name to a time on when people could expect their power to resume. But let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I love a chat, so make sure that you get engaged in this next hour of the program. Shortly, we'll catch up with Andre Carney, who is the CEO and co-founder of Inviva, about the Bank of Mum and Dad. Are you someone that is the bank of mum and dad and watching the pennies dwindle away? Well, there are going to be some sage pennies of advice, pardon the pun, that may work in your favour for your family. We'll also get some more news and catch up with Anna Corday. Every Thursday, Michael catches up with the wonderful and delightful Anna Corday, who is our entertainment expert for Screen Talk. And I'm very curious to find out how she saw the latest drop, the animated film of Zootopia 2. If you're a grandparent or a parent listening of small children, etc., we've got school holidays coming up, and my kids loved Zootopia, the first one. It was such a fun movie. A lot of these animated films, sometimes I feel like they're making them for parents, right? Because we get the jokes that the little ones don't. They're just happy to see a talking cheetah, jump around a screen for about an hour, and they'll think it's the best thing in the world. So, Australia's housing crisis, we know all about it. It is pushing families into a brand new financial reality. And it's not necessarily a good one, is it? And it's, of course, changing how young Aussies buy their first home, if you can even get to that point. And it's called the Bank of Mum and Dad, with parents stepping in to help their adult children secure a home alone, because the market is simply too tough to crack on its own. Now, you've definitely heard the term, as it's now one of the biggest lenders in the country. This comes after a Finder's First Home Buyer Report 2025 has revealed almost 1 in 5 first home buyers rely on financial help from their parents. That's up from 11% in 2022. Tells you everything, does it? From gifting deposits to even borrowing against their own homes, parents are helping their kids not get left behind. And while this can be enormous help for our children, it also comes with major financial pressure on older Australians. People over 55 are living longer, making retirement savings stretch further. So how do parents support their kids without risking their own security? That is the million-dollar question. More families are looking at ways to unlock their value in their home without selling to support their kids now when they need the help the most. But when money, property and family all come together, things can get complicated, that much we know. And Inviva is a home equity company dedicated to older Australians, and they have been studying the Bank of Mum and Dad closely. And I'm pleased to say that Andre Carney is the CEO and co-founder of Inviva, and he joins me in the studio now. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Are you part of the Bank of Mum and Dad Club, Andre? I have to ask.
Well, I'm close. I'm in there. Yes, yep. I am in there. And I have actually seen firsthand within my family some of the challenges of young people, children getting into the property market. So, yeah, I'm very much in there. Mm-hmm. And my co-founder, I think, has just got in there as well. So the two of us are fully aware of that.
And I like that you've come today with some solutions. Firstly, what's driving so many parents to step into this role? Yeah,
look, I think if you just look at it from the children's side, the previous generations were looking at a multiple of 4 to 5 times their salaries to get into the property market. And if you look in today's figures, you're looking now at around 9 to 14 times salaries. So salaries just really haven't kept up with the growth in property. And the growth of property, as we all know, has been significant. Just the last 5 years, property values have gone up around 50%. So you're dealing with salaries not keeping up, you're dealing with a really fast rate of property growth, and those two things are causing issues.
And external pressures. I know this isn't for you to comment on, but of course it's a topic of conversation in Australia right now about the pressure that immigration then puts on being able to get into your own home and the housing market itself. And oftentimes, Andre, I mean, you're going to look at properties. I just did the very same day, the other day actually, where I went to go and look at a home that smelt, with all due respect, of cigars and pet urine that went for $2.4 million. So you're feeling like getting into this market is already challenging enough, but then looking at homes that don't necessarily justify the price tag is even more difficult. But looking at all of this and the balance of this, does this feel like that this is the future of home ownership in Australia?
Look, I think, again, I won't comment on the part around what's exactly driving this, because there's obviously a lot of factors that are going to that. But what I will say is that the older generations, the boomers, have had the benefit of all of this growth, and the equity that they've enjoyed and the property values that they now sit with is significant. And we're talking about 6.2 trillions worth of private wealth that's held by boomers.
Wow.
And of that, you're looking at 2.8 trillion worth of home equity. And so they've enjoyed that asset growth. The younger generation is battling to get in, and this is where there's got to be a solution, which is really what we've come up with.
So let's talk about some of those solutions, because obviously there is naturally a lot of risk that then comes with being able to assist your children in getting into the housing market, and then feeling like that if you are doing that it's not coming at the expense of your own security. What are some solutions that you can outlay for our listeners today?
Yeah, right. Look, really, it starts with the right advice, and that's financial advice, that's legal advice. But from our perspective, we want to make sure that the whole family is in on this. Everybody knows about it. If it's only for one child out of three, all three need to be aware. So it's a journey which the whole family needs to be part of, and they need to be getting a lot of advice around the best way to structure this. Is it a loan? Is it a gift? Is there repayments to be made? Is there an expectation around interest? And all of those need to be laid out very, very specifically so that there's no misunderstanding. And I think expectations, you have partners, marriages, how does that all come in? So I think quality advice and getting it set up correctly up front makes a whole lot of sense. And then as far as looking after mum and dad, I think it just needs to be sensible given their financial situation. And I think that's with all lending, really. People are trying to do good by their children. As long as it's done in a sensible way, then for me that's okay.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And of course, parents, I know my father's certainly this type of fellow. He would give you the shirt off his back if it meant that he could help you, but it can sometimes be to a parent's detriment. So that's why I wanted to touch on that potential risk that then goes into it, because they are so caring. Parents are so caring towards their children. I'm going to ask you a tricky one now, though.
Yeah.
What's a fair amount of help, and how much money is too much money?
Yeah, look, again, it comes down to each situation. Just to give you a sense, the average size is $74,000 for a gift.
That's the average.
That gives you an average. It's really up to the individuals. We are very, very cautious about making sure that we ask the right questions when we are doing a transaction like this. So, have you thought about aged care? When would you likely be selling the home? What are your plans, and what are your spouse's plans in the coming years? Because all of those things need to marry up. It just doesn't help anybody, including the children, to have mum and dad in a difficult, challenging position down the track. And it is interesting, actually. Kids were helping parents decades ago, right? It was always kind of that, if you like, and it's interesting that there's now this shift. We more often than not actually have the children coming along and bringing the parents. And that's not just for this example. It's just for mum and dad to get assistance to keep up with living costs, day to day, aged care. And there's a whole host of things. They renovate, they do lots of other things with the equity in their property.
And the balancing act, the juggling act that goes on if you are a multi-child household of recognising that, okay, if my brother Johnny gets $74,000 but my sister Karen, for example, needs $150,000. Now things are going to start to get a bit tense. What's some advice about how to manage those particular tensions?
Yeah, look, it's interesting. Most parents, and there is a stat on it, and it's in between 70 and 80% of the top of my head, where parents actually say, I will always give the same amount to each child. Your example suggests potentially otherwise, right?
Yeah, but because what if one needs more than the other, right?
Yeah. And that's where these agreements come into place, and I think specialist advice and so we are very forthcoming on our website, having these pro forma legal advice and calculators and a whole host of other things, so that people are really armed with the numbers and putting it in writing as to what it means. So we give examples of all of that. And then, if somebody's getting different amounts, it probably needs to be levelled out at some stage, whether it's now or down the track.
Or it's going to be a very uncomfortable Christmas around the dinner table. But I'd love to know, what can companies such as Inviva specifically offer to help older Australians who have found themselves in this financial situation?
Yeah, look, I think that, again, if jumping on our website, you will find, our business only does this, right? It only looks after, people over the age of 55. And we're looking for ways to make it simpler and easier for them to access equity in their home. And there's a variety of purposes, naturally, that they utilize that for. And then we have people on the line that are there, that are specialized and that are there to assist. We get people to get independent legal advice irrespective of what the purpose is. And I think
that's about that. And just please, for the uninitiated, because some of this financial language can be so tricky to get your head around, can you take us through what reverse mortgage means?
Yeah. So there's actually the reverse mortgage product is a very old product that was around and didn't have a particularly good name to it. And a whole lot of regulation came in around the 2013 time period, which put a whole lot of frameworks around how much you can lend, that nobody could, their loan could not go above the property value. And there's a whole host of processes which you need to put in place to look after older Australians. The actual process of getting the loan is reasonably straightforward. You fill out a normal application. There are no monthly payments to make, and there's no term on it. So it's when you get into the detail of it, it's quite a useful product for people in certain circumstances.
Well, it has been very useful to have this chat with you today, CEO and co-founder of Inviva, Andre Carney. Thank you so much for dropping in the studio today.
Thanks, Lucy. Really appreciate it.
And, of course, Inviva Home Equity Release Loans for over 55s. Stay in the home you love. Live the life you want. Sounds good, doesn't it? T's and C's apply. Plenty more coming up after this.
See yourself adapting to unexpected growth with up to 55 days to pay for purchases. It's possible with the American Express Platinum Business Card. T's and C's apply.
If you remember how to rewind a cassette tape with a pencil, you should also know that if you're over 55, you may be able to add up to $300,000 from your home sale proceeds into your super account. Check if you're eligible and know what it takes to retire ready. Search Rest Super Downsizer.
Rest. Super. Simple.
Product issued by Retail Employees Superannuation Pty Ltd. Before deciding to join or stay, consider the PDS and TMD at rest.com.au/PDS and whether it's appropriate for you.
Caravan mattresses custom made or marine mattresses or mattresses made to any size or shape. Rocktal Mattress Factory has been making mattresses direct to public since 1939. 56 Fairford Road, Padstow.
Stores open 8 a.m. tomorrow for Black Friday at Harvey Norman, and it's going to be huge. Shop tech and save up to a massive 35% on Windows 11 computers. Shop TVs and save over $1,200 on LG 75-inch QNED LED. Shop mobiles and get $200 off the Motorola G56 5G. That's less than half price. Shop robotic vacs and save 50% on EcoVax D-Bot N20 Pro Plus. And that's just the start. Shop fridges, coffee machines, washers, dryers, headphones, digital cameras, gaming monitors and more. Best brands, best range and the best Black Friday prices. Go Harvey Norman. Stores open 8 until late tomorrow. Trading hours may vary.
It's Black Friday at It's Black Friday at up to 40% off tiles. Black Friday. Beaumont Tiles in-store and online. And soon. T's and C's apply.
The Mazda demo clearance is on for 4 days only. From November 27 to 30, shop huge deals on a wide range of demo models, priced to clear and ready to move. Be quick, get into your local Mazda dealer so you don't miss out. Offer only applies to available demo vehicles in stock between November 27 and 30 while stocks last. Demo stock may vary by participating dealer. Full terms, conditions and exclusions apply. Visit Mazda.com.au for details.
On King Island, fierce seas and roaring winds shape the land. But from this harsh landscape comes something rather, well, extraordinary. You see, cows graze freely on the salted pastures, producing a rich, creamy milk. This holiday season, bring home Australia's most award-winning premium cheese, found at leading supermarkets and specialty delis. King Island Dairy. No ordinary island, no ordinary cheese.
Afternoons for Heartland Bank. Reverse mortgages for over 55s, helping you unlock equity and stay in the home you love. Reverse mortgage eligibility criteria and conditions apply.
Afternoon, great to have your company and welcome to you if you are just joining us. You're with Lucy Zellich filling in for Michael McLaren. Coming up shortly is the news and the weather. It's 24 minutes past 1. But I want to tell you about something exciting because on Thursday, 4 December, we're in for a treat, and guess what? So are you. We are broadcasting afternoons live from the grand foyer of the Fullerton Hotel, Sydney, as we celebrate the Christmas season, and we're giving 10 lucky listeners and their guests the chance to join us for an exclusive Christmas afternoon tea following the show. So stay listening for the cue to call, which is this.
Picture me upon your knee. With tea for two.
Tea for two. Oh, my. Well, tea for more than just two, because not only will the very delightful Michael McLaren be there with his luscious full head of hair, sparkling charisma and wonderful, wonderful personality, but so too will his team, Joel, Brianna, Olivia, and those that go into putting this brilliant program together. We know that, yes, the star of the show is allegedly the one behind the microphone, and that is, of course, Michael, but these are the people that put this program together, so make sure, that is my personal request of you today for next Thursday, if you do win those tickets, to show them some love as well. They do love a chat. We were talking about the Bank of Mum and Dad with our wonderful guest from Inviva there, Andre. And I want to touch on some feedback because there are some very good points here coming in via the text line. This one from Sharon. Hi, Lucy. I am the Bank of Mum and Dad, or the Bank of Mum, she says. And for me, it was a no-brainer. I wanted to help my children buy a property because seeing them happy and settled makes me feel the same. After all, I can't see that when I'm dead. So being fortunate enough to help them while I'm here just makes sense. I have no regrets at all. God bless you, Sharon. Because there is this this temptation to think that, oh, yes, I will bequeath them this money when I die, right, when I go. But there are a lot of kids who need that money now. And I think that for all of the Albanese government's wisdom, and I use that term wisdom quite loosely, this idea that just requiring 5% of a house deposit would end all of this madness. Well, no, there are a number of factors going into what's driving the prices, and it's quite clear that it hasn't helped because all it's done is help contribute to driving the prices up. But then we have other external factors, right? So cost of living are issues, but then the pressure that immigration is putting on children being able to get into their own home, right? And as first-time buyers, it is increasingly challenging. I mean, I go back to the 1970s, right? My father came here in 1968. I tell this story often because it's a great story to tell, but it illustrates a very good point about just how far we have fallen. But that an immigrant from Croatia could come to this country with $8 in his pocket and work hard, which, by the way, back then we rewarded hard work. Now there are people with multiple jobs who can't make ends meet. But back then we rewarded people who worked hard, men like my father and many, many in the same boat. But after 6 weeks, he was able to, according to his wages at the time, right, after 6 weeks of work, he was able to accrue enough to put a deposit on a home. Now it's taking the average Australian at least 11 years to cobble that money to put that deposit together. And of course, we've seen the shift, the 5% deposit only required, but guess how long it's taking then, as I said there, to save enough to be able to have that 5% deposit in the face of everything else. And it doesn't help that we have bills coming out of the wazoo and that we are hearing stories about the fact that, you know, that Chris Bowen, again, for all of his wisdom, I use that term loosely, that the government are now projected to badly miss the 2035 climate target and fall shy of 2030, right? The whole climate change Colton scam, it just keeps driving prices up. And in industry as well, manufacturing. We used to manufacture things in this country. I remember reading a speech from Robert Menzies from the early days, 1950s, where he talked about the things that we were manufacturing. Cars, fridges, you name it. We were doing things in this country. But now look at where we are. You've got industries, and you only have to look at what happened with Tomago recently, where they're saying that we just can't afford it anymore. This can't keep going because the electricity prices are way too high. It's a real challenge. Another point, this one from Caroline about the Bank of Mum and Dad, and a very good one. Hi, Lucy. It's important to acknowledge that not all boomers are wealthy. We've both had 2 marriages. We own a house worth $760,000 in regional New South Wales, but have only $250 in super and no other assets. We were never wealthy though, just better off than some. And there you have it. I mean, what does it take to actually get ahead in this country? And even if you are doing everything, as I said, multiple jobs, doing all that you can, it just feels like it's very difficult to get ahead. You're just paying the bills, right? You're just getting by, just living. And you don't want to just live. You want to thrive. But under this government, it doesn't seem as though that's a possibility. All right, let's get some of the latest news headlines. And it's a very good afternoon to the brilliant Madeline McNeil.
Good afternoon, Lucy. Barnaby Joyce is expected to announce he's leaving the Nationals to join One Nation this hour. His party colleagues are urging him against the move, saying he'll be more effective if he remains in the Nats. Beaches on the mid-north coast will be closed for at least 24 hours after a shark mauled a man and woman at Crowdy Bay, killing the woman and leaving the man with serious leg injuries. Police have uncovered another 2 kill cars in Sydney's southwest, arresting 2 men and a teenage boy, and an official portrait of former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has been unveiled at Parliament House in Canberra. In sport, 4 players are tied for the lead during round 1 of the Australian PGA Championship in Brisbane. Aussie golfer Anthony Quayle is among the leaders at 4 under. Thanks, Lucy. There'll be more news and sport at 2.
On afternoons, a weather update. We'll be here to help in unexpected weather. NRMA Insurance, a help company.
Thank you, Maddie. And after yesterday's crazy weather, it is time for a weather update. I mean, we're trying to tell you what's happening, right? We're trying to predict what is going to happen. At the very least, our meteorologists are. So I'm going to do my very best to try and predict what's happening, thanks to the Bureau of Meteorology. It costs millions of dollars to get this information, though. The forecast for the rest of Thursday in Sydney, tops of 31 and sunny. Looking ahead to Friday, tops of 28, mostly sunny. Saturday, 31. Sunday, 27, and a possible shower. Good afternoon to our wonderful 2CC listeners in Canberra, my hometown. Great to have your company. The forecast for the rest of your Thursday, tops of 25 and sunny. Looking ahead to Friday, tops of 28 and sunny. Some showers expected for Saturday, 23. And looking ahead to Sunday to round out the week, tops of 21 and partly cloudy. Great to have the company of our listeners in Lithgow via 2LT. Your forecast for the remainder of Thursday, tops of 23, becoming windy but also sunny. Friday, looking ahead to that, tops of 26 and sunny. Saturday, tops of 23. Sunday, tops of 21.
Traffic. Unwrap the Clarendon home difference with up to 36 premium inclusions for their luxe homes, including a choice of either a Miele or Smeg upgrade pack. Ends December 23.
Picton Road is closed eastbound at Cataract. We've had a car towing a caravan. It's crashed near Mount Kira Road. M1 southbound near Joel's Bridge. A van's Cookies motor is in the shoulder waiting for a tow. M4 at Homebush West has a westbound crash just after Homebush Bay Drive. A truck's crashed on Elizabeth Drive at Cecil Hills. It's pointing west in Lane 1 at Walgrove Road, and at Erskine Park, a B double's conked out on Erskine Park Road at Lenore Drive. I'm Steve Carline on 2GB.
Celebrate over 100 years of Gosford Quarries, Australia's leading sandstone supplier. Proudly family-owned and operated, Gosford Quarries has crafted quality Australian sandstone seen in landmarks across the country, including the iconic Sydney Town Hall. Whether you're renovating or building, their expert team uses local, sustainably sourced sandstone to bring your vision to life. Thinking about sandstone for your next project? Experience the quality and craftsmanship that comes with a century of expertise. Visit gosfordquarries.com.au.
If you were to open up a Christmas present and it's a Bunnings gift card in front of you, you're like giving someone, hey, here's a trip for you to Bunnings. You can't go wrong. It's just an Aussie classic.
More choice in one card when you get a Bunnings gift card for Christmas.
Bunnings Warehouse.
At Celebrity Cruises, we didn't find your happy place, we built it. Book today with our Happy Black Friday sale and enjoy up to 75% off your second guest. Plus, save up to $1,500 per room. Why spend your time looking for other holiday deals when your happy place is right here? Book the holiday you'll always remember to places you'll never forget with an offer that's too good to miss. Hurry, visit celebrity.com.au or contact your travel advisor. T's and C's apply.
For banking at its best, I choose the HSBC Everyday Global account. CanStar's Bank of the Year for everyday banking 6 years in a row. I earn up to $600 cash back a year when I tap and pay with my Visa debit card for purchases under $100. I pay no fees whether I'm spending here or overseas. And when I travel, I manage multiple currencies all from the one account instantly at competitive exchange rates. The HSBC Everyday Global account. Banking at its best. T's and C's apply. Issued by HSBC Bank Australia.
Stores open 8 a.m. tomorrow. Harvey Norman Black Friday. Shop unbeatable deals store-wide. TVs, fridges, vacuums, kitchen and laundry. Get set to save. Shop huge discounts on the latest tech. Laptops, headphones, mobiles and more. Now's the time to buy. Shop big bargains in bedding, mattresses, pillows, quilts and bedroom furniture all on sale. Shop hot deals on lounges, dining, outdoor furniture, barbecues and more. Best brands, best range. Best Black Friday prices. Go Harvey Norman Black Friday sale. Stores open 8 till late tomorrow. Trading hours may vary.
The BMW Black Friday sale event has been extended. Don't miss this opportunity to get behind the wheel with savings equal to the GST across selected new BMW models in stock. Experience performance, innovation and luxury with a range of vehicles ready for immediate delivery. Don't miss the BMW Black Friday sale event. This exceptional offer must end Sunday, November 30. Visit your nearest participating BMW dealer today. Terms and conditions apply.
Renovation Kingdom's Black Friday sale, their biggest ever. Save up to 80% off in-store and online, plus an additional 15% store-wide. Fluted vanities from $440. All the big brands, Coroma, ADP, Mir, Nero, Fienza and more. Spend $4,000 for a chance to win a $1,000 Visa gift card. Must end midnight tomorrow. Search Renovation Kingdom, Tarrant Point and North Parramatta.
When you need capability, solutions and expertise for major projects, that's a Kennard's Hire job.
Hi,
Kennards Hire.
For 24/7 customer support, talk to our experts today.
Afternoons on 2GB. Thanks to The Drain Man. Got a gurgle? Get The Drain Man. He's the local expert who only clears and relines drains.
Coming up shortly, we will catch up with the wonderful Anna Corday for our weekly entertainment discussion. So looking forward to finding out just how Zootopia 2 fared. But in the meantime, of course, we are waiting. This was the anticipated time that we were expecting for Barnaby Joyce to make his announcement, to speak on his future. As we heard earlier today, it was reported in the Sydney Morning Herald that he would be leaving and announcing his departure. They are currently in the House of Reps as we speak, so we will make sure that we bring that breaking news to you as soon as it is announced. And again, on that subject, as I said, we are expecting that he will be announcing, as per reports, that he will be leaving the coalition, leaving the Nats to defect potentially to One Nation. And I don't think that you have to be a mind reader or a fortune teller to see that one coming. But as I said, we are still keeping our eyes on that and we'll bring that to you shortly.
Now on Afternoons, Screen Talk.
Yes, and who better to do that with than Nine's entertainment extraordinaire, Anna Corday, for Screen Talk. Good afternoon, Anna.
Good afternoon, Lucy.
Before we get into our picks this week, our very own Robert Irwin has been crowned the winner of Dancing with the Stars, along with his dance partner, Whitney Carson. Here's the moment as it unfolded.
The winners and new champions of Dancing with the Stars are... Robert and Whitney!
Alex and Val, fantastic job on making it to the finale. You're amazing.
All right, Joey and Jenna.
Wow, how about that? Our very own Robert Irwin, the 21-year-old, is now the most voted contestant in the show's history. Anna, did you see this one coming? From everyone that I spoke to, they were like, he's going to win it.
You could tell he was going to win it. I mean, what a story. The fact that he was competing a decade after Bindi competed and won as well. And Americans just, I mean, we all love the Irwins, obviously, but Americans love the Irwins. They love Robert. You could just tell from the minute he started dancing in that first episode weeks ago that everyone was in love with him, and it's only grown since. You could just tell he was going to win it. And to be fair as well, he went into the finale with a rib injury, so they had to change his choreography. He was up against some pretty popular dancers as well, but you just could tell he was going to come out on top.
Bloody hell, the bloke can dance. I mean, did you...
He's got the moves. Those hips don't lie.
Holy moly, the hip thrusting, the cha-cha. I mean, you name it, this guy nailed it. It was really fascinating to see. But also exciting because, as you pointed out there, 10 years ago, Bindi competed, won the competition, and he beat some very, very, fancy dancers themselves. Influencer Alex Earle and Olympian gymnast Jordan Childs. Is there a future for Robert Irwin in dancing? I mean, is that where we can see his career going, apart from wrangling crocodiles?
I think he needs to consider it. Maybe he could incorporate the dancing into his croc shows, do a little shimmy on his way up to the croc with a piece of meat, it could work.
Doing the foxtrot with a lizard or something, who knows? I mean, the sky's the limit, Anna. The sky is the limit. Look, I'm dying
and we would all watch it.
I'd be there for it. That'd be some fantastic content, I'll tell you now. I'm dying to know about this film, so I come into this a bit selfishly, but I know that a lot of people have loved the Zootopia franchise. But please tell me about Zootopia 2. School holidays are coming. I know there are a lot of grandparents and parents who are looking for things to do with their kids. I loved the first movie, but tell me, how was Zootopia 2? Is it worth going to the cinemas?
Good news is you are going to love Zootopia 2 just as much as the first one.
Yes.
This is that big animated sequel. I mean, we've been waiting close to 10 years. That first one came out in 2016. And our favourite fairy detectives, Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde, they are back. This time they're chasing down a rather slippery, mysterious reptile who's arrived in Zootopia and he's turning things upside down. So our duo obviously have to go undercover and their partnership gets pushed to the limits. So we've got Jennifer Goodwin back, Jason Bateman, there are crime-solving Bunny and Fox. Kihi Kwan is Gary DeSnake. We've got Andy Samberg as a lynx, Shakira's back as Gazelle, Idris Elba, Chief Bogo. Robert Irwin himself has a role as Robert Furwin, and Ed Sheeran also has a cameo as Ed Sheeran, his sheep, obviously. It is such a good follow-up to that first film. It's a really, really worthy sequel. It'll be such a huge hit for families and even not the kids. I think a lot of adults will be enjoying this one as well. And I dare say it will be even more popular when it gets put into high rotation when it eventually lands on Disney Plus next year.
I'm looking so forward to it. And for parents of small children out there, going to the cinemas with small kids is like an extreme sport at the best of times. But do you know what I appreciated is that other parents are in the same boat. So your kid's running around like a Yahoo up and down the aisles, but then he runs into another kid that's running up and down the aisles like a Yahoo. So it's worth it because it's a lot of fun at the same time too. Tell us about John Cleese. What's happening there?
Yes, well, he's got a new documentary called John Cleese Packs It In. So this is obviously not for the little kids. I mean, unless they're big fans of Fawlty Towers and Monty Python, you never know. But this is a documentary, so it follows the famous comedian. At the age of 85, he embarks on a European tour, 5 countries, 16 cities. I think it was about 23 shows that he does, and he's performing to thousands and thousands of people. And look, you may ask why? Why bother when you're one of the most famous comedians on the planet? You've already got an incredible legacy. He's also rather well known as being a bit grumpy. And look, John puts it pretty simply. He says he needed the money. He had an expensive divorce. So here we are. I don't think... Look, at least he's upfront. At least he's honest. I don't think he needed per se to make the doco, but he has. He's very, as I said, he's very upfront about why. He's still so funny. I think fans of John's will get a bit of a kick out of it all. He's, very, he reminisces on his career. He's insightful about comedy and the role that comedy plays in our lives. And look, you will get a few laughs out of this one.
Just get a prenup. Maybe that's the message in all of that.
Seriously.
A few smaller releases too. Tell us about those. Dead of Winter. What's that about?
Yes, we have a few of those ones. These ones will be more in cinemas like Palace Cinemas United, the Orpheum, the Ritz, those ones. Not necessarily in your event cinemas or your Hoyts. But yes, Dead of Winter. This one is Emma Thompson. She's a grieving widow. She gets lost in Minnesota in the middle of winter in some, back areas. She stops at this remote cabin and ends up in a big fight for survival. So I won't spoil what goes on, but it's a goodie. I mean, it's Emma Thompson. How could it not be? Mm-hmm. Then we've got Lurker. Lurker is a drama thriller about a retail worker who weasels his way into the inner circle of a music star. Things get very dark and very intense, so that's also a very good one to consider this week. And then we have a little festive offering from Kunal Nayar, who's one of the guys from Big Bang Theory, Raj. This one is essentially a Bollywood-inspired take on A Christmas Carol. I think it probably would have done better on streaming. I think out of all of the options that are out in cinemas this week, I'd be seeing Zootopia first.
Can't wait. Actually, I'm very excited about that. Talk about what's happening on our streaming services, because this is one of my all-time favourite shows, and it is about to drop. Stranger Things, Series 5, Volume 1. They're splitting it into 2 parts. Did you get on the Stranger Things bandwagon?
Oh, I've been so on the Stranger Things bandwagon. I didn't catch on until season 2, and then I binged season 1 straight into season 2, and it is just phenomenal.
Isn't it?
It completely broke the mold. It's just changed pop culture in the last decade. It's made such a huge impact. But Volume 1 of season 5 has just dropped on Netflix in the last hour and 44 minutes. It dropped at 12 p.m. And this is the beginning of the end. So for anyone who knows the show like you do, we're back in Hawkins. It's 1987. Our hero gang are on their mission to find and kill Vecna. He has disappeared, though. They can't figure out where he is. And further complicating everything is the fact that the government has placed the entire town under military quarantine because they are hunting down 11. So everything is just gearing up for that final epic showdown battle. I mean, I have goosebumps thinking about how good this show is, and these new episodes are unreal. I got to preview them a couple of weeks ago, and I have been thinking about it non-stop ever since.
Oh my gosh, so you've already seen the episodes?
I have. So I saw the episodes a few weeks ago. I haven't been able to talk about it. Obviously, the review embargo is lifted now. They are so good. They have pulled out all of the stops for these final episodes. Anyone who's a fan, you need to, get on it ASAP.
Thank goodness.
Watch it as fast as you can.
Because that's always the worry, right? Are they going to be able to live up to the hype and deliver it, because it is coming to the culmination, the end of the series? Because I certainly, for those particularly that watched Game of Thrones, that ending sucked. God, that was bad.
I know. You've got, Seinfeld and Roseanne and Game of Thrones, those finale episodes of those big shows
just crap.
That have these rabid fans like us.
Yep.
Yeah, they just haven't managed to stick the landing. I'm really hopeful that they are for this. They obviously only gave me those first 3 episodes. I haven't seen what's ahead. But like I said, the first 3 episodes, they're out now. Volume 2 is coming out on Boxing Day at midday, but then we get a movie-length finale that they are holding, and that is dropping at 12 p.m. on the 1st of January.
Really stringing us. They're really stringing us along for the ride. It's like a bad Tinder date, aren't they? Like, it keeps going and it's going nowhere. What's happening? Come on, get to it.
In their defense, they said they know that there are some fans who will watch it as soon as it drops and binge it all in one go. They want everyone to be able to watch the finale, in a sense, at the same time. So there aren't people who have, got free time and they've managed to watch it faster than everyone else, and then they're jumping on the internet and spoiling it for the rest of us.
It's a very interesting approach.
Method to their madness in a way.
Okay,
and I back it.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I mean, with a series like that has been so fantastic. You're hoping that they don't bugger it up, but you are relying on the fact that if they've made this calculated move, that it is with good reason. The Beatles anthology on Disney Plus. How about this?
Yes, this is a bit of a Christmas present for all of the Beatles fans out there. That's pretty much everyone, let's be honest. So these 9 episodes. So it's a documentary series.
I'm just going to interrupt you there for this breaking news, because we now have Barnaby Joyce speaking in the House of Reps.
I've been asked to leave twice by Peter Dutton, and I suppose the last change, when they talk about generational change, it's pretty clear what people want. One of the biggest things, though, Madam Deputy Speaker, is that after 5 weeks, I announced this about 5 weeks ago, apart from a 90-second phone conversation with the leader, I've had no communication with either the leader of the National Party or the deputy leader of the National Party to try and resolve this, and that's disappointing. So after 30 years with the National Party, I'm resigning from the party, and that really leaves me with a heavy heart, and I apologise for all the hurt that will cause other people. I really do. But it's not the most important thing. What is really important is that we understand those dealing with the cost of living crisis, that we go into bat for them. What is really important is they're still building intermittent power precincts and swindle factories in regional areas and destroying communities such as my own. What is really important is the Chinese Communist government are breathing down our necks and each day become more provocative. What is really important is we have regional hospitals without doctors in them. And what I have to do, if I'm going to continue on that fight, is get myself into a better position than the ejection chair in the, at the backbench of the coalition in opposition.
Member for Hughes.
Thank you.
And there you have it, the news that we all expected. Barnaby Joyce leaving the Nationals Party. He said very tellingly there, very damagingly, that he's had no communication with the leader of the Nationals Party about this issue. That's pretty problematic. But he said that he's resigning with a heavy heart. After 30 years, you can only imagine just where he'll go to next. I mean, we've all got our bets onto where that is. We're expecting it to be One Nation, but there you have it, the news that Barnaby Joyce confirms he has left the Nationals.
Bye, fur babies. Sol is running the aircon, so I've left it on in the lounge for you.
Meow. Potty time.
Ow, ow, ow! Bust the catnip.
Cool cats love My Place IQ Super Smart Air Conditioning because it saves energy by only air conditioning the rooms you need at the temperatures you want.
Uh-oh, lights are on, blinds are going up.
And it does other smart things too. Visit myplace.com.au to learn more about My Place IQ. Super smart air conditioning.
Lotto is an estimated $6 million this Saturday. Grab an entry in-store, online or on the Lot app now. Wouldn't it be nice?
Imagine it's Christmas morning and I'm an irresistible triple smoked boneless ham, just $13.99 a kilo from Aldi. You feel like breakfast in bed and I'm downstairs in the fridge, cold and alone. Go on, it's Christmas. Aldi, good different.
The big Lazy Boy Black Friday sale is here. Save 20 to 50% across the entire Lazy Boy range. Oakland and Derby recliners are both half price. But hurry, these deals won't last. Visit your nearest Lazy Boy store today. Comfort and savings are waiting.
Stores open 8 a.m. tomorrow. Harvey Norman Black Friday. Shop tech, save up to a massive 35% on Windows 11 computers. Shop TVs, save over $1,200 on LG 75-inch mini LED. Shop mobiles, get $200 off Motorola G56 5G, now less than half price. Shop robotic vacs, save 50% on Ecovacs D-Bot N20 Pro Plus. Shop fridges, coffee machines, washers, dryers. Shop headphones, digital cameras, gaming, monitors and more. Best brands, best range, best Black Friday prices. Go Harvey Norman. Stores open 8 till 8 tomorrow. Trading hours may vary.
When a job needs a heat pump, just head online and get one from Bunnings Warehouse. They're the only retailer in Australia where you can get a PowerBay Gen 2 electric heat pump. Just click and buy. It's too easy. You get a 5-year warranty, simple app control, and running costs are far cheaper than gas. Plus, rebates are available for eligible customers. T's and C's apply. PowerBay Gen 2 electric heat pumps. Get them online, only at Bunnings Warehouse.
Our Black Friday sale is on now at Hughes Menswear. Save up to 80% off famous brands. Yes, up to 80% off. Hughes Menswear, Upper Level Basil Plaza, making big blokes look their best for almost 50 years.
Netflix, Nvidia, Apple. Just 3 of the revolutionary companies held in BetaShares NASDAQ 100 ETF. With returns of 20.1% per annum since May 2015, NDQ is the ETF of choice for Australians wanting to invest in the companies transforming the world. Search BetaShares NDQ or speak with an advisor today. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. Investing involves risk. BetaShares Capital Limited is the issuer. Read the PDS and TMD at betashares.com.au.
Hi, this is Ben Fordham. It's time to recognise local clubs supporting local communities. A shout out to North's Cammeray for donating $15,000 to Kids Youth Development Services, providing counselling and early intervention programs. And Davidstown RSL Club has given $13,000 to Greenpoint Terrigal Community Services, running youth and community engagement programs. Congratulations to those clubs, and you can support your local club by dropping in today.
Afternoons on 2GB, thanks to Tomcat, the top cat in Sydney roofing. 1300 Tomcat, tomcatroofing.com.au. That's cat with a K.
You're with Lucy Zellage filling in for Michael McLaren, and we rudely had to interrupt the wonderful Anna Corday for Screen Talk to jump to the news that Barnaby Joyce has confirmed he's leaving the Nationals. We'll bring you more reaction to that just after the 2 o'clock news. But in the meantime, let's wrap things up. The Beatles anthology, we didn't get to it, Anna. Tell us about it.
No. So this one is a new 9-episode documentary series. It's exploring the life and times of the famous band, as told by the Beatles themselves. So this was originally broadcast as 8 episodes in 1995 in the US and the UK. It's been restored, expanded. We have a 9th episode now. It's all made up of previously unreleased footage of Paul, George and Ringo during the making of this anthology series. It's a treasure trove for Beatles fans. The first 3 episodes are out now. Episodes 4 to 6 will drop today. Episodes 7 to 9 drop tomorrow on Disney+. So that is very exciting for Beatles fans. And then we have a little Bump a Christmas movie, which is landing on Stan this Sunday, which gets us into the festive spirit as we charge our way into December.
Man, I love Christmas. It really is the most wonderful time of the year, isn't it?
It really is, and you forgive a multitude of sins when you watch movies that are Christmas-themed. I watched some real corkers last night to get me in the spirit.
I love it. Good on you. Anna Corday, Nine's entertainment extraordinaire for Screen Talk. Coming up shortly, the news.
Traffic, presenting Renovation Kingdom's Black Friday sale. It's their biggest ever. Save up to 80%. Search Renovation Kingdom now, Tarrant Point and Parramatta.
Picton Road has now reopened to Cataract. M4 at Homebush West has a westbound crash just after Homebush Bay Drive. Southbound breakdown on Woodville Road at Villawood near Binnaburra Street. Now, a couple of issues with Lane Cove Road. At North Ryde, there's emergency roadworks in northbound lanes near Trevitt Road. And up the road at Macquarie Park, a truck's broken down in the right turn lane to Epping Road. Metal debris we're hearing at the bottom of the Big Dipper, affecting traffic on the M1. I'm Steve Carline, 2GB.
Escape your pricey telco this Black Friday with Amasim. Right now, you can get an Amasim mobile plan with 100 gigs of data, which includes 20 gigs Black Friday bonus data for just $15. That's right, 100 gigs for just $15 on your first renewal. And every Amasim SIM plan comes with unlimited data banking when you remain on your plan. So escape your pricey telco at amasim.com.au. Amasim! 28-day expiry. Bonus data offer ends 2nd of December. Ongoing is $40 from second renewal and 80 gigs from fourth renewal. T's and C's and Fairco policy apply.
We bring your pipes back to life. Sydney Drain Surgeons do it right.
If you've got a block drain in Sydney, call Sydney Drain Surgeons. Our pipe relining means no digging and no mess. 35-year warranty, fast same-day service.
Black Friday deals are on at Officeworks. Shop low prices on Dyson vacuum cleaners, furniture, the latest tech and more. Get it fast with 2-hour click and collect or same-day delivery. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
Jimmy Hardware's one-tier Black Friday Blitz is on now. Get a whopping 40% off a Samsung 75-inch TV. 40%! Samsung 65-inch blitzed. Over $1,500 off. And get over $2,000 off a Samsung 77-inch OLED. JB, you've done it again.
Mum, are we there yet?
Yep, look, there it is. The Fullerton Hotel, Sydney.
Wow, is that big clock building the General Post Office? The one that Nan and Pop used to work at?
That's the one. They'd tell me all sorts of stories about it when I was your age.
So they met inside there? Can we see where they work?
Of course we can. Imagine all the wonderful stories those walls could tell.
Create your own unforgettable stories. Book your family stay today at fullertonhotels.com. The perfect blend of heritage and modern luxury.
Always hungry no matter how much you eat? Do you keep reaching for the snacks and feeling guilty about it? Introducing Caruso's Berberine Craveless. Caruso's Berberine Craveless suppresses hunger and reduces appetite. It also helps you control food cravings. So if you're tired of overeating and feeling guilty about it, try Caruso's new Berberine Craveless today. Now available at leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. Use in conjunction with a healthy diet and exercise.
9 News is your news. Join the 9 News team for the stories that matter. Made in Sydney, for Sydney. For the full day's wrap-up, 9 News, nightly at 6.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Afternoons on 2GB. Thanks to The Drain Man. Got a gurgle? Get The Drain Man. He's the local expert who only clears and relines drains.
Just repeating that breaking news, of course, Barnaby Joyce. He announced what we all expected he would, that he's leaving the Nationals. He said after a 90-second phone conversation with the leader of the party, he ended up revealing that he's had no communication since. And to that point, Dave on the text line said, Lucy, how is there no communication? What is this, the schoolyard? How embarrassingly childish. And now listen to the crap from the government intelligentsia. Yeah, well, there's a lot of that goes on in the chambers of Parliament, that's for sure. But shortly we'll get the news, and then in the next hour of the program we'll bring you more reaction. Barnaby is addressing the press pack down in Canberra, and we'll get to hear what his potential move would be next. Of course, we're expecting him to go to One Nation, but I think he's had more to say on that. He's keeping us all guessing. We're looking forward to giving away some tickets for Track of the Day. We'll get a finance update and some more of your feedback as well. How do you feel about Barnaby leaving the Nationals? Was it the right choice? Time for the news.
Got a smart speaker? Then ask it to play 2GB. Sydney's 2GB 877. 1073.
It's 2 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Madeline McNeil. Barnaby Joyce has confirmed he's quit the Nationals, claiming the regional party wants him to leave. Mr Joyce says he doesn't want to be sitting on the backbench and believes he's been prevented from playing a greater role. He's expected to make the switch to rival One Nation, but hasn't made a decision on the matter as yet. Mr Joyce made the announcement in Parliament a few moments ago.
I've had no communication with either the Leader of the National Party or the Deputy Leader of the National Party to try and resolve this, and that's disappointing. So after 30 years with the National Party, I'm resigning from the party, and that really leaves me with a heavy heart, and I apologise for all the hurt that will cause other people. I really do.
An inquest is recommending more education and research into how to address what a coroner called the persistent scourge of domestic violence. The hearings were examining the killing of Sydney woman Lily James by Paul Tyson, a man she'd been in a brief relationship with. Among the key issues identified are preparing people to recognise and call out coercive control and teaching young people about the threats of abuse using technology. A bystander who used a makeshift tourniquet to aid a man bitten by a shark on the mid-north coast may have saved his life. The man in his 20s is in hospital with critical leg injuries after he and a woman were mauled at Kylie's Beach at Crowdy Bay. The woman couldn't be saved. Ambulance Superintendent Josh Smith says the witnesses' efforts to stem the man's bleeding were heroic.
I just really need to have a shout out to the bystander on the beach who put a makeshift tourniquet on the male's leg, which obviously potentially saved his life and allowed New South Wales ambulance paramedics to get to him and render first aid.
Police have uncovered another 2 kill cars in Sydney's southwest, taking 2 men and a teenage boy into custody. They allege the group was conspiring to carry out a shooting in the area as part of an ongoing business feud. The Police Minister hopes a new cadet program will boost officer numbers across the state. Year 10 school leavers can now apply for the 12-month traineeship, which will give them hands-on experience with the force. Yasmin Catley says cadets will be given a range of opportunities over the year.
They'll be with general duties, our highway patrol, detectives, and also with our front-facing police. So they'll really have that first-hand experience of what it's like to be a police officer.
Also making news, 2 National Guard soldiers are fighting for life in hospital after being shot not far from the White House. And new data from the Workplace Gender Equality Agency has found women are still earning $28,000 per year less than men in similar positions. In finance, the All Lords is up 3 points at 89.03, $1 Australian dollar buying 65.2 US cents.
Finance presenting Renovation Kingdom's Black Friday sale. It's their biggest ever. Save up to 80%. Search Renovation Kingdom now. Tarrant Point and Parramatta.
A Brisbane golfer ranked in the 600s has a share of the lead after the first round of the Australian PGA Championships at Royal Queensland. Anthony Quayle shot a 4 under 67. He says having Tiger Woods as former caddy Steve Williams as his bag man is a massive plus.
Anytime I did make a little bit of a mistake, it wasn't like he was jumping on me, what are you doing? It was like, yeah, that's fine, mate. Everyone makes a bad swing from time to time. Let's make a good one on the next one. So it was really good.
Tied with Quayle in the clubhouse are New Zealander Ryan Fox, China's Wenyi Ding and Finland's Tapio Pulkkinen. English cricket great Ian Botham says the tourists will lose the Ashes 5-0 unless they change their baseball mindset, calling their loss in Perth horrendous. And Liverpool has slumped at their worst run of results in 71 years after a 4-1 hammering by PSV in the Champions League. That's sport. I'm Adam Hawes.
It's 2:04. That's the latest news and sport.
2GB Sport. For blooming great flowers and beautifully presented gifts with same-day delivery, it has to be mrroses.com.au.
2GB presents John Williamson in Sydney.
How you going, folks? Join me on my 55-year anniversary tour. My travelling days are done.
It's raining on the rock.
I'll be playing all my old favourites and songs from my new album. How many songs?
Beautiful world.
Can't wait to see you there.
John Williamson at the State Theatre, Saturday, February 7th. Book now at Ticketmaster. The perfect true blue Christmas presents.
Traffic. Get solar and battery with no big upfront cost from Zalora, backed by Bunnings. T's and C's apply. See zalora.com.au for details.
Richmond Road at Blacktown has wires down. Westbound lanes are closed there near Showground Access Road. We've had a truck crash on Elizabeth Drive at Cecil Hills, close to Walgrove Road. They've lost a westbound lane. Southbound breakdown on Woodville Road, Villawood near Binnaburra Street. A burst water main on Wentworth Avenue at East Gardens has closed a couple of eastbound lanes. I'm now hearing of a truck breakdown Old Walgrove Road at Eastern Creek. It's on the westbound approach to Roberts Road. I'm Steve Carline on Sydney's 2GB.
Perfume is more than scent. It's memory, presence and power. So discover your signature scent with Bajeremy. Think iconic, original fragrances for women and men with a luxury feel at a price you'll adore. Just in time for Christmas. Bajeremy. Scents that whisper to your senses. Spoil yourself and the ones you love with a beautiful fragrance from Bajeremy. See bajeremy.com.au. That's BUJAIRAMI.
With NRMA Insurance, you could enjoy our multi-policy discount when you take out 2 or more eligible policies. NRMA Insurance, a help company. Discount applies in tiers based on the number of eligible policies. Maximum tier reached at 9 eligible policies. Visit nrma.com.au/customer-discounts for more info. Discount may be subject to minimum premiums. Always read the PDS. PDS and TMDs available from NRMA Insurance at nrma.com.au.
2GB weather. Rain, hail or shine, we'll be here to help when unexpected weather comes your way. NRMA Insurance, a help company.
Sunny with southwesterly winds up to 30 kilometres per hour. Mostly sunny tomorrow, 19 to 28 degrees in the city, 15 to 35 in the west. Looking ahead, partly cloudy Saturday, possible showers Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. Right now in town it's 31 degrees, the same at Bankstown and Penrith, 29 at Campbelltown and again at Lucas Heights. I'm Madeline McNeil. There'll be more news at 2:30 on your news leader, Sydney's 2GB.
Now on 2GB and network stations. It's back to afternoons with Lucy Zelich, filling in for Michael McLaren.
And I tell you what, it is a genuine honour to be filling in for the incomparable Michael, who returns next Monday. Today is Thursday, the 27th of November 2025. Welcome to you if you were just joining us. Great to have your company. I love to have a chat. So please take to that open line where our number is 131873, or you can send me a text 0460873873, or flick me an email via 2gb.com. Coming up, I'm going to tell you in the next hour, I want to give away some tickets for Track of the Day, as well as, don't forget, we are giving away there's a double pass to be won. One of those, a pass to the Fullerton Afternoon Tea with us next Thursday. Michael and the team will be there. We love connecting with our listeners, love meeting you and greeting you. Oftentimes, we get stuck on the phone to you and we get your text messages, which we love, but to be able to put a name to a face, we really enjoy that here, because that is the strength of Talkback Radio. You are the strength of this station. And we love connecting with you all, so stay tuned for that. Also coming up on the program, we'll get a finance update with Scott Phillips from the Motley Fool as well. But we are, of course, reacting to the news that Barnaby Joyce has announced he has left the Nationals Party. And I want to get some more from him in terms of what he said to elaborate and explain his decision.
After 30 years in the National Party, it's certainly not a decision I took lightly. It's not as if I fell over at the first hurdle. I've been trying to work my way through this for a long period of time, say a couple of years. And I've just, there seemed no real resolution to the breakdown in the relationship, and therefore the smartest thing to do is move on.
Well, it sounds like it is. It's a breakup for the ages. It sounds like things really soured when he revealed this in the House of Representatives, saying that he'd had a 90-second phone conversation with the leader of the party some time ago, and then that there had been no communication since. That sounds like it really didn't go the way that it should have for Barnaby there. He said that he's also resigning with a heavy heart, in terms of where he'll go next, of course, there is a lot of speculation that it would be One Nation, but here's what he had to say on that particular question.
I'm still weighing up all opportunities. Like it might be in business, might be out.
Might be in business, might be out. But here's this from Chris via the text line. Hey, Lucy, I'm a Barnaby fan, but he must know that there is no such thing as a free steak meal. There is always a price to pay. Thanks, Chris. I always thought, and I've been told this many times by my husband included, that the way to a man's heart was through his stomach. And I think the great Pauline knew that. So that's why she decided to whip up that meal, whether it was for free and whether it is something that will be heeded by Barnaby. Only time will tell. How about this from Charles via the text line? 100% for a coalition of the National Party and One Nation. They will win all the votes that the Liberals lost in the cities. Very interesting theory. And it seems like Roger also agrees via the text line. Hi, I'm a NAT member and I totally agree, totally with the idea of a coalition with One Nation. It would be very interesting to see how that would play out and if in fact that would go towards creating a supercharged version of both parties. And now that, the coalition are struggling, they're hemorrhaging numbers, their poll results are at historic lows, things are challenging, it's not looking good for them. And I think that there is a reason why we are starting to see a surge within One Nation. And it's because the coalition itself has lost its identity. They've forgotten who they are and what they stood for and why the party was formed in the first place. Ron from Chatswood said this via the text line, Lucy, the Nationals can ill afford to lose Barnaby. He's an excellent retail politician, a rare talent in the coalition at the moment. They are hemorrhaging their good people. What are the other Conservatives within the faction of the coalition thinking? Do they see that potentially there is a way out for them if they're not feeling like their views and their policy positions and the direction that they would like to see the party going in, if that's not being met? Time will tell. I would love to know your thoughts. 131873 is the open line number. The text line 0460873873. Tell me, was this the right move for Barnaby? Elsewhere, we are still getting some reaction to that crazy weather that we experienced yesterday with that snap thunderstorm. And we have had some requests from some of our listeners about this. This one coming through from Jane. Hi, Lucy. Could you please supply information as to when power supply will be restored in the Blacktown area? Endeavour Energy not supplying any information. It seems to be the run of the mill at the moment. But I can tell you, Jane, that we have put in a request to our team, our wonderful team here, have put in a request to Endeavour, but we have heard Ausgrid will address the media at 3 p.m. along with New South Wales SES and New South Wales Ambulance. Of course, when we did hear from them earlier in the day on Ben's program on Breakfast, neither of them, particularly Endeavour Energy, and I'm sorry to break it to you, Jane, really wanted to commit to a time of when things would be restored. We had heard that potentially 8 p.m. tonight was the answer, but again, Simon Canning, who spoke on behalf of Endeavour Energy, was very reluctant to put a name to that. And of course, a lot of the reasons that have been cited were for safety reasons. So if there was a particular tree that had fallen down on some of the lines, they had to be sure that when that had been, that line had been restored, that it potentially didn't spark a bushfire or something quite dangerous, because there is, some concerns around how hot it is today. So anyways, we'll keep our eye on that and let you know if we hear anything further from Endeavour. But as I said, just repeating that, Ausgrid, if you are an Ausgrid user, will address the media at 3 p.m. And I'm sure that Clinton from Sydney Now will look to bring you some updates. But it's time now. We want to give something away. We want to have fun, and we love doing that on 2GB. So it's time now for Track of the Day.
On afternoons, Track of the Day.
I said it, we love giving things away, and that's precisely what we're going to do right now. For the uninitiated who aren't aware of how to play along, I am about to play you a song, and then I'll ask you a question about said song or why I chose it. And if you get the answer right, you'll win a double movie pass to Andre Rieur's Merry Christmas. And today I've chosen Purple Haze by the very brilliant Jimi Hendrix. So the reason we are saluting Jimi Hendrix today is because today would have been a birthday for what we know to be, he was one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Jimi Hendrix, what a legend. But my question is, what iconic festival did he perform at in 1969? What iconic festival did he perform at in 1969? Call the open line number now with your answer. 131873 is the number for your chance to win a double movie pass to Andre Rieur's Merry Christmas. You're with Lucy Zellige filling in for Michael McLaren. Alrighty, let's go to the call line now. Shane has phoned through from the Central Coast. Good afternoon, Shane.
Hey, Lucy, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, mate. Have you got an answer for me? What iconic festival did Jimi Hendrix perform at in 1969?
And all that, it was his birthday today. Would have been Woodstock, Lucy.
Oh, Shane, you are correct. First cab off the rank. Congratulations to you. You've won a double movie pass to Andre Rieur's Merry Christmas. Enjoy Andre Rieu on the big screen for his 2025 Christmas concert. Merry Christmas. Joyful carols, beautiful waltzes, and plenty of surprises. It's the ultimate Christmas cinema event. Go to andreinChristmas.com to search for session time. It really is the most wonderful time of year. Congratulations again, Shane. Stay on the line and our team will get to you now.
Black Friday is on at Coles. Get $30 off when you spend $3.50 online, plus another $30 off your next online shop when you spend $100. Hurry, offer ends 30 November at Coles. Limits, exclusions and T's and C's apply.
This is it. Sydney RV Supercenter's closing down sale is in its final days. Massive discounts on all caravans, camper vans and motorhomes. Save up to $8,000 off new and used models. Windsor, Corrimal, Winnebago, Adria, Essential, New Age. All the best brands ready to go. This sale must end November 29th or while stock lasts. Terms and conditions apply. Once these RVs are gone, they're gone for good. Hurry in before it ends. Visit Sydney RV Supercentre at Penrith today.
When it comes to business, there's nothing more important than you. That's why Judo Bank has introduced character-based lending. Talk to the bank that's changing business banking. Judo Bank, boldly backing business. T's and C's apply. Visit judo.bank for details.
During life's toughest moments, Guardian Funerals is here. With over 100 years' experience, we offer professional guidance and care, helping you celebrate a life with a personalised service. Create the perfect farewell with Guardian Funerals. guardianfunerals.com.au.
Reading glasses, distance glasses, reading glasses, distance glasses, distance glasses. Bugger, wrong ones. Reading glasses.
Lose the glasses for good with Eagle Eye Surgeons, the original provider of Presbeyond Sydney. Whether you need glasses for reading, distance or both, Presbeyond Laser Surgery will give you crystal clear vision for all distances. The procedure takes just minutes with minimal discomfort and fast recovery. It's time to ditch all the glasses. Organise your free assessment now at eagleeyesurgeons.com.au.
It's time to wake up to huge deals, now available on the Temper range of mattresses, adjustable bases and pillows. Now that's a deal worth getting out of bed for. Born from NASA technology and perfected for sleep, Temper is made in Denmark with a 10-year new-for-old replacement warranty. Find your nearest stockist at temper.com.au. Huge deals available now. Temper, a mattress like no other.
John Rocker here. Test drive the new Lexus NX and RX Hybrid Plus range at Sydney City Lexus today, combining hybrid for long drives with all electric for short trips. Redefine what's possible at Sydney City Lexus. MD 53160.
Australian business, hardworking, resilient, and built on the back of post-its, pens, printers, and yes, even mouse pads. Now, thanks to CommBank Yellow for Business, eligible customers could win one of 50 $2,000 Officeworks vouchers. More rewards for your business? No doubt. Search CommBank Yellow for Business. Entries open 17/11/25 and end 8/12/25. For full T's and C's and eligibility criteria, visit commbank.com.au/yellow for business. New South Wales Authority number TP/03182, NTP/149666.
Afternoons for Heartland Bank, giving Australians over 55 more freedom to fund what matters most in retirement without selling up. Reverse mortgage eligibility criteria and conditions apply.
It is 21 minutes past 2 here, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Good afternoon to you. Great to have your company. You're with Lucy Zellige filling in for Michael McLaren, our open line number 131873, our text line 0460873873. I'm dying to hear from you. How do you feel about this news that Barnaby Joyce has left? And that he's made no decision on where he will, or at the very least he hasn't announced it publicly, on where he will be going next. Would love to hear your thoughts. It's been fascinating, and we've had a couple through come in via the text line. This one from Helen. Hi, Lucy. Barnaby had no other choice, as Littleproud is jealous and always has been. The Nationals will regret their treatment of Barnaby. Some of the comments from Matt and Bridget have been quite insulting, no longer voting for the NLP. That's rough. And again, there's another number to add to the growing list of the numbers that the coalition are hemorrhaging, which I think a lot of people who have followed this party for many years will either agree with but also join in the chorus of saying that it is quite a shame to recognise where it once was to what it now is. Has been quite upsetting for a lot on the right to have to witness that. This one from Mick. G'day. He says, I'm doing a great job. I appreciate that, Mick. Some people dispute it, but that's okay. But thanks for the kind words. Happy to fill in for the incomparable Michael while he's away. But he's saying, I compare the current political situation to getting cattle through a gate. They all mill about until one braves it, then it's a flood of the rest. Barnaby the brave first one. Will there be a stampede now? Now he's shown the way. Keep rocking, mate. Thank you, Mick Sarge. You're a legend. But it will be fascinating to see, does this open up the floodgates there, as Mick is suggesting, or will we see more solidarity? Will they bunker down and really retreat and, I guess, solidify in the face of all of this? They've also had Jacinta Nampijinpa Price, who's left the party. I mean, she's obviously gone to the Liberals, so she's still within the coalition, but it's not looking good. And I tell you what, they need to get their house in order. But in the meantime, it's time now to catch up with the very brilliant Clinton Maynard for an update on what we can expect on Sydney Now.
It's that time of the afternoon. Time to find out what's coming up on Sydney Now. Kia dealer event is now on. All Kia demo vehicles, including Sorrento and Tasman, come with a gift card up to $2,000. T's and C's apply.
Clinton Maynard, we know, I've heard in some circles that you are, and I quote, a political nerd, end quote. Right, I'm not going to give away my sources, although Joel giggling like a schoolgirl behind the panel over there suggests that maybe it's him. Yeah, okay, he said you're a political nerd there. I gave it away. But I love that you're a political nerd, and now I'm dying to hear, in addition to what you said yesterday about yourself, for the listeners who missed it, he identified as a new age sensitive guy. But now you're also a political nerd. So tell us, political nerd, how did you feel? How did you react to the news that Barnaby has left the Nationals?
Oh, absolutely stunned, shocked. My goodness. Now, you know that I love Barnaby. Barnaby was on my program 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
He said exactly the same things he has said this afternoon.
Yeah.
He told me 3 weeks ago on the radio that he would be leaving the National Party. And when I pushed him, are you going to join One Nation? He said, I haven't made my mind up yet.
Mm-hmm.
Barnaby has spoken extensively now in his press conference after what he said in Parliament and said he's not made his mind up. Look, I think it's pretty clear he's going to run for the Senate for One Nation. But he hasn't said that. He's actually said maybe I'll go into business.
I know, but is he just doing that to try and throw us off the scent?
I think the scent is pretty strong.
The scent stinks.
The smell of the steak wafting through the offices of Pauline Hanson's in the sandwich press. Oh, look, I think I can understand why Barnaby's doing that. I mean, Barnaby Joyce is 58, and he's talking about that he's been pressured that, they need generational change. He said that Peter Dutton tried to get him to leave twice, that the leader, David Littleproud's, only had a 90-second phone conversation. There's a lot of ageism in society at the moment. 58 is not old. 58 is not past it. So he's got plenty still to offer in terms of a political career.
What's Donald Trump? He's about to tick over to 80.
Yeah, 58, and somebody's coming up to his 50s next year. 58 is certainly not
that's
old.
why you feel sensitive about it, I gather.
So look, I'm not... Given the build-up to the announcement, I must say I'm a little flat, because what he has said in Parliament today is exactly what he said on my program a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And what he has said after Parliament, that he's still considering his options, is also what he said 3 weeks ago. And he did say he wants the summer to think about things. I think you'll find that he'll eventually join One Nation, because he was with Mark Levy yesterday, as you played some of it on your show today. He said, I'm a front rower. He doesn't want to be in the ejection seat on the backbench, and I don't think he should be in the ejection seat. I think he's got something to offer. But when you just mentioned that questioning me about me being a political nerd, I would thought you were referring to the dream that I had last night. Did someone tell you about that?
No, and now I'm intrigued.
Oh dear.
I love that, I never know what to expect. Obviously, it's, you coming in to tell us what's coming up on your show. But when I was listening to you with Michael the other day, it was about your small jaw. And now we're hearing about the dream you had last night. Please do regale us.
You were in the dream last night, Lucy.
Oh, no.
Yes, you were.
Good or bad?
Early this morning. So, we were about to do this segment, right?
Yeah.
And see the adjoining studio. We've got 3 studios here at 2GB, and there's glass in between them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the studio next door to you, and you're signalling to me, come in, to do our little chat.
Yeah.
And I was rushing around. I couldn't because there'd been this huge blow-up in State Parliament. And I was trying to get to the bottom of what was happening in State Parliament. And I was flicking through my phone and I was looking for somebody's contact so I could quickly call them, confirm this information that I'd had that there'd been this blow-up of some sort in State Parliament so I could come onto your program and break the news.
Yeah.
You know what it's like with your phone contacts? If you've got a few hundred, as most of us do, because you collect them for decades, I'm scrolling through the contacts and I couldn't find the number. And I was in a panic.
So for a political nerd, that is the equivalent of a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm in this panic, scrolling. Where's that person's number? Where's the person's number? You're standing there. And this is a true story. This is about 5:30 this morning because I woke up in a sweat at 5:35.
I feel so sorry for you.
You're looking at me coming, Clinton, get into the studio now. I've got the phone flipping through. Where's this number? I need this number so I can tell Lucy Zelich about this huge drama in Macquarie Street. Maybe some MP sleeping with some other MP and there's
It's a scandal.
There's a scandal.
It's a scandal.
I need to confirm this.
I just need to reiterate that point I just made. I feel so sorry for you, mate. You work so hard and then you don't even get rest in your sleep. You don't even get a break in your sleep from work. That's a lot.
Well, don't get me started about John Stanley calling me a few nights ago at 12:07.
It was a butt dial, wasn't it? Was it?
It was a pocket dial, yes. But of course, I got up and woke him back.
Tell us what's coming up on Sydney now.
Okay, we've got plenty coming up on the program. Of course, we'll cover what's happening with Barnaby Joyce in Canberra. But to be fair, he has basically repeated what he told me a few weeks ago on the show. I'm going to speak with Garth Hamilton, who's impressive coalition backbencher.
I love Garth Hamilton.
Garth will be on the program after 4 o'clock. His view on what coalition immigration policy should look like, linking it to rental vacancies, for instance, linking it to the housing shortage, which seems to make some sense. And I know that Susan Lee hasn't yet confirmed, finalised the policy, but she has said she'll listen to backbenchers. She'll be consultative about that, so we'll have a look at that.
Oh, God, is that listening process going to be another 6 months too?
So Garth on the program after 4 o'clock. We'll be chatting to the ATO about the black economy, as in the cash economy, and the rorts that are going on there. So the tax office will talk about that. I'm going to talk to one of the upper house MPs in New South Wales. You'll recall a couple of weeks ago, there was a late night sitting. The politicians didn't finish sitting until 6 o'clock in the morning, which I think is ridiculous. Now, I don't have sympathy for politicians working too hard. Don't get me wrong. But just bear in mind, they're there making decisions on our behalf. And I don't care who you are. If you've been at work for 18 hours straight, you're not making good decisions. You're not clear-headed. Well, guess what's going to happen tonight? They're going to be sitting all night again. And there's been blow-ups in Parliament over the last couple of hours about it as well, so we'll delve into that.
I just want to quickly touch on the ageism that you were talking about. David, thanks for this via the text line. David, thanks for saying 58 is not old Clinton and Lucy. Dave, who also happens to be 58 years of age. And this one from Lyle, some common sense. It's not an age issue. People will vote for decent people with common sense values. A lot of the younger politicians don't have these qualities. Trump is the perfect example of the values people want. And about speaking to what people want. And I think that's why Trump has been successful with, cutting through all of the political speak and the nonsense, like him or loathe him. He's been able to connect with people. And I think that that's where the disconnect is occurring in politics here in Australia, is that we're just tired of the political speak. But I'm never tired of listening to you. Looking forward to catching up with you on Sydney now after 3 p.m. Clinton Maynard.
Thanks, Lucy.
Let's get a news update now with Madeline McNeil. Good afternoon, Maddie.
Hi, Lucy. After 3 decades with the Nationals, including 20 years in Parliament, Barnaby Joyce has formally resigned from the party. The move clears the way for Mr Joyce to join rival party One Nation, but he says he hasn't yet made a decision on the matter. Ausgrid has restored power to more than 30,000 customers across Sydney, the Hunter and Central Coast, leaving around 10,000 customers in the dark after yesterday's wild weather. Paramedics are praising the heroic efforts of a bystander who used a makeshift tourniquet on a man bitten by a shark on the mid-north coast in an attack which killed a woman in her 20s. And a new police cadet program has been launched to boost recruitment, offering Year 10 school leavers the chance to spend 12 months undertaking a traineeship where they'll gain hands-on experience with the force. In sport, the International Cricket Council has handed down its verdict on the Perth Stadium pitch after the two-day test between Australia and England, the shortest in 137 years of Ashes battles. The ICC giving the surface a very good rating. Thanks, Lucy. There'll be more news and sport at 3.
On afternoons, a finance update for Pretzel Wealth and Finance. For trusted financial planning, just Google Blake went to Pretzel.
Yes, and Scott Phillips from the Motley Fool, fool.com.au joins us now to talk all things finance. Scott, good afternoon.
Lucy, good afternoon. Good to be with you.
Great to have your company. Now, our nation's banking regulator, the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority, otherwise known as APRA, has introduced first ever home loan caps. Talk us through this. What does this mean exactly for homeowners?
So this is fascinating. And what the cap is not applying to the individual loans, it applies to the bank's loan book in general. In other words, all of it added together. And the regulator has said you may not make more than 20% of new loans to people who have a debt-to-income ratio of more than 6 times. So let's say you earn $100,000 a year, the most you can borrow is $600,000 under this rule. Now, it's not saying they can't make those loans, just that those they do make must represent less than 20% of the bank's loan book at any one point in time. And clearly this is designed to reduce risky lending. They're trying to make sure the financial system isn't caught up. Imagine a scenario like a GFC-style subprime crisis. And again, I'm not predicting that. We don't have to go down that path necessarily. What they're really doing is saying, hey, let's make sure if we do end up with some dramas in the housing market, most of your blending, 80% at least, is made to people who have a borrowing less than 6 times their annual income. And it makes perfect sense on a systemic level. You've got to ask, I guess, suppose, if you're doing that now, what else are you allowing or at least considering making possible? In other words, 9-10% is okay. Almost a fifth-year loan book can go bad, just not 20%. So it's a little bit of a funny one. Again, they're not saying you can't do it and no one can borrow that, just you have to limit the amount of your loan book that's exposed in this way. I'm not sure this is the last time APRA weigh into this one. I suspect it's about the fact that interest rates may well go up next time rather than down, and no predictions from me, but there's a decent chance. And if it does, it puts added stress on the housing market. So the regulator getting ahead of this one. Again, APRA's job is the systemic health of the economy or the banking sector, not individual borrower loans. That's a different thing. But yeah, this time around, making sure if the worst does come to the worst, the banks aren't too exposed. And yes, they care about the banks a little bit. They care about the stability of the financial system in general much, much more. And that's what this is about.
Well, sounds like a sensible decision on the balance of all of that. And tell us what's happening on our local markets and the dollar. Some good news about the dollar.
Yeah, market not giving us much, though, full of sound and fury signifying nothing. For all of today's activity, we are up 1.2 points, or 0.013%. Not much going on there, 8,900 points as we speak. Meanwhile, the dollar, as you say, good news if you're going overseas or an importer. Not great news if you're an exporter, by the way, because a lower dollar is good for exporters. A higher dollar good for travellers and importers. Up another 0.5% after a big jump yesterday on that inflation data. 0.5% higher, 65.27 US cents.
Scott, I'm a fool of a woman. I'm thinking if I'm going overseas and travelling and I want to go and buy a handbag or something obscene, how far's my dollar going to stretch? Always great.
Further than it would have yesterday.
Always great to chat to you, mate. Thanks so much for your company.
You too. Thanks, Lucy.
Scott Phillips from the Motley Fool, fool.com. Wonderful to get an update from him. Let's take a quick break.
Traffic. Win instant money off your shop in-store at Woolworths with everyday rewards. Offer ends December 2nd. T's and C's and permits at woolworths.com.au.
A van's broken down on New Illawarra Road at Bangor, south near the bypass. And at Carringbar, Kingsway, there's a 3-vehicle crash near Jacaranda Road. Westbound lanes of Richmond Road are closed at Blacktown for emergency utility works. And Old Walgrove Road at Eastern Creek has a westbound truck breakdown. That's as you get close to Roberts Road. A truck has crashed on Elizabeth Drive, Cecil Hills, a little west of Walgrove Road. And there's emergency roadworks north on Lane Cove Road at North Ryde. I'm Steve Carline.
If you own a small business, you know the day goes fast. There's staff to manage, customers to serve, calls to make, books to balance, stock to order, suppliers to pay. But there are also opportunities not to be missed. That's why Amex Business Cards support cash flow, fuel growth, and reward you for being busy. Cards for businesses on the grow. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Search Amex Business Cards today. T's and C's, eligibility and approval criteria apply.
Yeah, I got busted speeding. Drink driving.
I was caught texting while driving.
I wasn't wearing my seatbelt correctly.
I copped a fine and lost 5 points.
You can stop it or cop it.
This is it. Sydney RV Supercenter's closing down sale is in its final days. Massive discounts on all caravans, camper vans and motorhomes. Save up to $8,000 off new and used models. Windsor, Corrimal, Winnebago, Adria, Essential, New Age. All the best brands ready to go. This sale must end November 29th or while stock lasts. Terms and conditions apply. Once these RVs are gone, they're gone for good. Hurry in before it ends. Visit Sydney RV Supercentre at Penrith today.
Kogan.com's Black Friday sale is on now. And they're going all out with up to 70% off awesome TVs, appliances, furniture, and more. They've got big screen TVs. They've got robot vacuums. They've got, bargain. Add to cart and, guess I'm a air fryer guy now. Hurry, shop up to 70% off at the Kogan.com Black Friday sale now. Kogan.com. Clickin' awesome. T&Cs apply.
This Christmas, elevate your lifestyle with a Clarendon home, packed with premium inclusions and smart upgrades. Select Miele or Smeg upgrades for your kitchen. Enjoy designer touches like Parisi tapware, frameless shower screens, and indulgent freestanding baths. Clarendon's 7-star Basics commitment means lower energy bills and a more comfortable home. Discover what real luxury feels like. Visit Clarendon's display centres or clarendon.com.au. Offer ends 23 December 2025.
Good times are waiting at Camden Valley Inn. And with this special offer for seniors, there's even more good times to be had for less. From Monday to Fridays for breakfast and lunch, seniors can get 2-for-1 meals. Yes, entrees, mains and even desserts. Anything off the printed menu. 2 for 1. Just present your seniors card at the bar for this special 2-for-1 offer. The Camden Valley Inn, with double the value on meals for seniors. Visit camdenvalleyinn.com.au.
Hi, John Rocker here. At Sydney City Toyota, we specialise in vehicle fleets, offering tailored advice so you can get on with business. Search Sydney City Toyota Fleet for details. If you have a fleet, we need to meet. MD 53160.
You've found it, the right home for your next chapter. But your current place isn't even on the market yet. And the thought of missing out, it's hard to shake. With Bridget, you don't have to wait. We help you unlock the equity in your current home so you can buy now, sell later. Bridget, trusted by over 17,000 mortgage brokers and thousands of Aussie homeowners. Speak with your broker or apply online at bridget.com.au.
Lending criteria, credit assessment, conditions, fees and charges apply.
Afternoons on 2GB. Thanks to The Drain Man. Got a gurgle? Get The Drain Man. He's the local expert who only clears and relines drains.
It's 20 minutes to 3, at which point the wonderful Clinton Maynard will take you through until 6 p.m. for Sydney. Now, I just wanted to quickly let everybody know that if you are very excited about Andre Rieu's big screen, his 2025 Christmas concert Merry Christmas special, where there will be joyful carols, beautiful waltzes and plenty of surprises at the cinema, go to andreincinemas.com to search for a session time, not Andre in Christmas. As I said earlier, I just can't get Christmas out of my head. Yesterday I said I could go into economic ruin over Christmas decorations because it seems to be the only thing that I'm thinking of at this point in time. So make sure that if you're wanting to visit the website, go to andreincinemas.com. Oh my gosh, it's that sound. You heard it just like I did, right? That is, of course, your cue to call. Be caller number, I'm going to say 3 today. 3. Yesterday I said 4. I'll work my way back up for tomorrow, for Happy Friday, which will be my last day before Michael returns next Monday. But that is your cue to call to win yourself a double pass, where we are broadcasting afternoons live from the grand foyer of the Fullerton Hotel in Sydney to celebrate the Christmas season. Of course, we're giving 10 lucky listeners and their guests the chance to join us for an exclusive Christmas afternoon tea following the show. And that was your cue to call, but it is separate to our open line number. It is 1300 722 873. And as I said, you'll be joining us for that afternoon tea with Michael and the team on December 4 at the Fullerton Hotel Sydney, where history meets modern elegance. Caller number 3, where are you? Let's take a quick break.
Get behind the wheel during the Kia dealer event this November. All Kia demo vehicles, including the 7-seat Sorrento, K4 sedan and Tasman, come with a gift card worth up to $2,000 while stocks last. T's and C's apply. Visit your nearest Kia dealership today.
Kia, movement that inspires. Hack Black Friday with OnePass. OnePass members get free delivery on eligible items or orders from Kmart, Target, Bunnings Warehouse, Officeworks and Priceline Pharmacy, so they can spend less time circling the car park and more time ticking off their wish list. So skip the chaos and join OnePass today to get your first year half price at just $20, then $40 a year thereafter. Offer ends 1 December 2025. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Visit onepass.com.au.
Okay, is KFC literally psychic? They took all my faves and put them in one box for just $6.95. The giant snack pack, crispy nuggets, mouth-watering popcorn chicken, and golden chips. Oh, KFC, FLG. Not everywhere and not forever. Pick up only.
This season, Jamboree celebrates 45 years of action, excitement, memories that last forever. There's something for everyone at Jamboree. Buy now and save.
Jamboree, where you control the action.
Who are you lot then?
Knights on a quest for the mid-key, a legendary key said to unlock the equity in thy home.
Oh, sweet. I could pay off some debt. Finally start that plough rental business.
Use thy equity without selling. No monthly payments, no fixed loan term.
You're kidding.
We kid thee not. Ask the great engine of search for mid-key. Unlock thy equity. Unlock thy wealth. T's and C's, fees, charges, repayment triggers, eligibility and lending criteria doth apply.
Bali is nice. Vancouver's pretty good too. But nowhere beats Sydney Harbour. And now's the perfect time to get out on the world's most beautiful harbour with Captain Cook Cruises. Gather your family or friends for a harbour view long lunch, the ever-popular high tea at sea, or the famous Penfolds Gold Degustation dinner. All perfect ways to enjoy our magnificent harbour. Make memories. Book now at captaincook.com.au. Terms and conditions apply. Captain Cook Cruises, your trusted operator on Sydney Harbour for over 50 years.
It's time to wake up to huge deals, now available on the Temper range of mattresses, adjustable bases and pillows. Now that's a deal worth getting out of bed for. Born from NASA technology and perfected for sleep, Temper is made in Denmark with a 10-year new-for-old replacement warranty. Find your nearest stockist at temper.com.au. Huge deals available now. Temper, a mattress like no other.
Australian business. Hardworking, resilient, and built on the back of Post-its, pens, printers, and yes, even mouse pads. Now, thanks to CommBank Yellow for Business, eligible customers could win one of 50 $2,000 Officeworks vouchers. More rewards for your business? No doubt. Search CommBank Yellow for Business. Entries open 17/11/25 and end 8/12/25. For full T's and C's and eligibility criteria, visit commbank.com.au/yellow for business. New South Wales Authority number TP/03182, NTP/149966.
Unhealthy mould spreads quickly in your bathroom. For a sparkling clean, mould-free shower, call the Grout Guy and stop it before it starts.
Afternoons on 2GB, thanks to Tomcat, the top cat in Sydney roofing. 1300 Tomcat, tomcatroofing.com.au. That's cat with a K.
15 minutes to 3, and I'm told that we potentially could have a winner for our afternoon tea giveaway. Maria in Kenthurst, is that you?
Oh, I'm so thrilled. I've been trying all week.
Oh, congratulations! You've been trying all week. That makes us feel even better here. We are so delighted for you, and I'm sure Michael and the team will be just delighted to be meeting you. Congratulations. You are joining us as we broadcast live and enjoy an exclusive Christmas afternoon tea at the Fullerton Hotel, Sydney, where history meets modern elegance. Maria, do you love a high tea?
Oh, not lately.
No, I mean, well, who's got the time these days? But I tell you, some scones, a cup of tea, some good company. It always sounds good in my books.
It's delightful. Delightful to do.
And I'm sure it'll be delightful to catch up with you. Thank you so much for calling, and so delighted that you were given the opportunity to win those tickets because, as she said there, she has been calling all week. Love that stuff. Now, we've received a lot of text messages this afternoon asking when power supply will be restored in Sydney's west. It is, of course, the big topic of conversation following that snap crazy storm that we had yesterday across Sydney. And it left thousands of homes across Western Sydney without power. We did reach out. Our wonderful team did reach out to Endeavour Energy to pepper them again with questions about if we could expect to see power resume anytime soon. And they said, and I quote, "Our goal is to restore powers for customers by this evening, but given the amount of damage and repairs, some outages may extend into tomorrow," end quote. The company couldn't give us a time as to when properties would have their power restored. Ausgrid will address the media, so that is coming up at 3 p.m, along with New South Wales SES and New South Wales Ambulance. Emergency crews from Ausgrid have restored power to more than 30,000 customers, with 10,000 customers without power in the state. So it's disappointing news to hear that a lot of people will still be without power potentially until tomorrow. A lot of food spoiled in the fridge, but even more concerningly as well, there are a lot of people with medical requirements that need this to be back up and running. So I'm sure that they are doing everything that they can to get things back up and running, but it's time that we, got it back up and running. I want to reveal a bit of sports news, and this about Manly star Ruben Garrick. He's told the club he's leaving. The Sydney Roosters are reportedly set to strike another significant blow in the player market after Manly outside back Ruben Garrick informed the Seagulls that he would leave the club at the end of next season. It is understood that Manly were told on Thursday morning that Garrick intended to take up a deal at one of their rivals at the end of next season. He is tipped to join former teammate Dally Cherry Evans at the Roosters on a 2-year deal from 2027. Love a bit of drama already coming up ahead of the NRL season. It always tends to come up so quickly, doesn't it? Whenever you're thinking that things are quiet in the off-season and the boys are just back on the paddock and training, something always like this tends to come out. So I wonder how many of you would be feeling about Ruben Garrick if you are a Seagulls fan of his departure. Would be interesting to know. This one from Jeff via the text line: keep the fridge closed as much as possible and food won't go off. Well, it depends what you've got in there. I mean, you don't want to play with raw chicken. That's something that you don't want sitting in your fridge without power for a long time. Of course, elsewhere, the biggest news story of the day has been about Barnaby Choice and his announcement that he has left the Nationals Party. A lot of feedback coming in via the text line with respect to that. He has made it clear, of course, that he doesn't know what his next move is, allegedly. I think that's just what he's telling us publicly. But again, there's speculation that he may be defecting to One Nation, and a lot of people would like to see that happen. This one via the text line from Sharon. Hi, Lucy. Good call, Barnaby. So she agrees that it was the right decision for him to leave. She said, you can't be effective from the naughty corner. We'll never see a Liberal PM again in my lifetime. Don't know how old you are, Sharon, but it's devastating that we feel that way, isn't it? Because of the state of the coalition at the moment. And I think a lot of people on the right side of not just government, but those who tend to vote in favour of the right, and if you have historically been a voter of the coalition, would be feeling devastated. It's been quite the political train wreck, unfortunately. But just how long this train wreck will continue, it will be very interesting to see. It's not great. It's definitely not great. Some people with response to some solutions for the power outages, although it's not all that easy to end up in this scenario. From Siv, our regular listener, spoke to him earlier. Love your company, Siv. Thanks again for reaching out via the text line. He said, would it be worth perhaps investing in a generator for such occasions as this, because you simply don't know when the power will come back on, and neither do the energy companies, so it seems. It's pretty devastating when you are a developed nation that you're in a situation where you have to think about, investing in a generator. Of course, hey, if you've got the money lying around and you are able to do that. But with all of the energy crises that we have going on at the moment, and the conversation around climate change and just what the best policy going forward with respect to energy should be for this country, it's really something that when I think about it with great interest, I've always been pro-nuclear. I don't think it was a mistake for Peter Dutton to push that out as his policy. In fact, I respected greatly that decision, and I think that we should be lifting that moratorium and allowing Australians to vote on that. What is the pathway forward? Should we be allowing this Labor government, who, as it's been released today, Climate Change Minister Chris Bowen revealing that the government projections for 2035, the climate target, will be badly missed. But he says that they do not account for some recent commitments, though he acknowledges there is more work to do. Australia is projected to fall just shy of its 2030 climate target and badly miss its 2035 target without significant changes, the Climate Change Minister has revealed. I mean, come on. It's just, how long are we going to keep this charade up, right? At what point do we acknowledge it's just not working? This renewables only pathway forward is not right for our country, and that there is a very good darn reason why other countries around the world haven't gone down this path. It's crazy to me that we're still having this conversation and we are just hemorrhaging money, throwing billions of dollars at this effort to try and control the weather and reduce emissions, all the while we are killing industry, driving up your power bills. I don't know why they continue down this path and why they are so committed to this ideology. It sounds like pride more than it does common sense. And as one of our listeners wrote in on the text line, common sense is not so common. I want to give you an update, some news from our traffic reporter, Steve Carline, as well. Victoria Road is closed in both directions at Gladesville due to fallen power lines. It seems it was also a big issue this morning for those in the Richmond area. It's taken some time to clear these, obviously because of safety issues. But if you are planning on travelling down Victoria Road, just know that you will need to make alternate plans in Gladesville because, as I said, they are closed in both directions due to those fallen power lines. How about this for a bit of news as well, coming out of the US? Some interesting news. It tells you the strength of some people's character. Katy Perry, the pop star, who's now reportedly dating Justin Trudeau, the former Canadian Prime Minister, is asking for almost $5 million in a lawsuit against the disabled veteran who owned a $15 million Montecito, California home she purchased more than 5 years ago. The 41-year-old singer bought the home from Carl Westcott in 2020, but within days, the businessman who founded 1-800-Flowers tried to back out of the deal, claiming he was incapacitated due to painkillers when he signed the paperwork. I mean, the man may have the money, but geez, $5 million from a former veteran, and when you're sitting on so much money already. I was having a conversation with my poster the other day. I just don't think, and I know that that's occurring in the US, but in a more broader context here, I just don't think we respect our servicemen and women enough in this country, do we? I was talking to my postie who said that he had noticed that some funding had been reduced from the St Vincent de Paul Sullivans program, right? And which was something that our servicemen and women benefited from greatly. But that just goes to show you that in addition to the Albanese government not wanting to invest more in defence, they are taking more money out of the services and the help that could be invested in defence. But don't worry, they keep hiring those public servants. Coming up soon is the news.
Traffic. For a limited time, save 20% on cruises aboard the majestic Murray Princess. Hurry, offer ends November 30. Book today at murrayprincess.com.au.
As Lucy just mentioned, we've had a truck crash at Gladesville. Victoria Road's affected. Wires are down. Victoria Road closed in both directions between Pittwater Road and Massey Street. Gore Hill Freeway at Artarmon is hosting a motorcycle breakdown, and eastbound drivers have to dodge him after Hampton Road. Epping Road at Lane Cove has traffic lights playing up at Longueville Road. Kingsway at Carringbar with a 3-vehicle crash near Jacaranda Road. I'm Steve Carline with traffic every 10 minutes on Sydney's 2GB.
Black Friday is on at Coles. Get $30 off when you spend $3.50 online, plus another $30 off your next online shop when you spend $100. Hurry, offer ends 30 November at Coles. Limits, exclusions and T's and C's apply.
Good nutrition is the key to healthy ageing. That's why My Choice was created by the dietitians and chefs at Light and Easy. They're perfectly portioned for smaller appetites and packed with flavour and nutrition. And with support at home funding, your plan can cover up to 70% of the cost. Plus, we'll cover your first co-payment, so you'll pay $0 to Light and Easy for your first delivery. No contracts, just more choice, independence and happiness. Call 13 15 12 for more information.
So why does Jet Set Plumbing have over 5,000 five-star reviews? No call-out fees, fixed flat rates, a 100% workmanship guarantee, a 10% seniors discount, and we're open 7 days a week. A proudly 100% Australian family-owned and operated business, Jet Set Plumbing has taken Sydney by storm. Jet Set Plumbing, your drainage and hot water specialists. Gold medal Jet Set Plumbing for drainage and hot water service. One call solves all. Search Jet Set Plumbing today.
Almost 1 in 4 Australians can't afford to forget about COVID-19. If you're an at-risk Aussie and test positive, know if you're eligible for antiviral medicines and go speak to your GP now. Visit knowandgo.com.au.
A message from Pfizer Sydney, Australia.
Black Friday is here at 40 Winks. 50% off mattresses, 30% off furniture, plus an extra 10% off select items. These Black Friday savings end Cyber Monday. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply. 40 Winks. Serious about savings, serious about sleep.
Renovation Kingdom's Black Friday sale, their biggest ever. Save up to 80% off in-store and online, plus an additional 15% store-wide. Freestanding baths starting from $550. All the big brands, Coroma, ADP,